Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the ReelTok Podcast. First of all, we want to say a massive thank you for the support on the ReelTok Awards show. That has been easily our best received episode yet. We got a lot of reviews, a lot of shares, a lot of tweets about it as well, which we're really thankful for. Make sure to subscribe, rate, follow us on all socials as you all have been doing. Rate us on Spotify, rate us on Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. And we hope everyone had a good New Year's Eve, whatever you did. And yeah, so we'll kick it off with how everyone is. Tyler, we'll kick off with you.
Yeah, it's been good. Been a busy week. So I've been texting the group chat. I've been doing so many house renovations. Like, this office looks pretty different. This is the same one that I've been podcasting in, not last episode, but every episode before then. And all my TikToks were filmed in this. So I guess you can't see it, but the wall like I'm facing is where like the movie wall used to be. That's all gone. It's been freshly painted. There's tile in here now instead of carpet. So that was just like a bitch to do all that. It's echoey in here, so I need to get stuff on the walls. Maybe need to get some sound dampening stuff. Maybe need to get a rug. So that's the only downside of moving from carpet, is because carpet's what you want for like a recording space. But I just hate carpet, and tile's a lot nicer. So I'm going to need to do something to make this a little better for production quality, because I noticed on my TikTok yesterday, like, it's way more echoey in here. So got to get that figured out. So it's been a bitch working on this all week for sure. But yeah, then did 2 double features this week. Started off 2023 strong, getting 4 theater going experiences in the first 8 days. All 4 of those we'll talk about later. But Thursday saw 2 really good movies back to back. Yesterday, just did not enjoy myself. Like, the movies themselves and also just like the theater going experience sucked. So yeah, 2 double features, lots of home renovations. Been a busy week. Haven't really been in my normal grind for social media. So hopefully to get back in that this week. But yeah, that's been about it for me.
Didn't you have like loads of teenagers at your M3GAN viewing?
Yeah, Cam said that the same too, right? Tons of teenagers at your M3GAN showing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a ton. I don't know if it was a ton of teenagers or just.
Okay. We'll get into my theater going experience for M3GAN when we get to that review.
Oh, good. George, how you been?
I've been good. First week of the year is always just like stupid busy with work. You could always kind of tell how busy I am with work by how many TikToks I post. So if it's anything less than a TikTok a day, you could just assume that I'm decently busy. And that was the case. The first week is always just really busy. Everyone's coming back from vacation, settling in, trying to like regroup and shit. So work's been good. Work's been busy. Other than that, not much. We're kind of like finishing up, settling into the apartment. I gotta build the desk for this office today. I'm currently sitting at our kitchen table that I just moved into here for the podcast. And the same thing like Tyler, it might sound a little echoey just because there's nothing in here right now. So wall decor has got to come. That desk will hopefully reduce the echo a little bit. But yeah, other than that, busy week, movie watching week, fun week.
Good. Cameron, how's your week been?
It's good. Not a. Was this my first week? This is my first week back. So like I said, I was off for 2 weeks from work for baby bonding / like paternity leave, whatever you want to call it. So
I like baby bonding.
I like baby bonding. Sounds better.
Yeah, right. This first week back, it was a busy week at work. Obviously trying to get caught up. And now Emma is gone. She's on a cruise with her mom right now. So I'm kind of...
Whereabouts?
She went to so it's like a 4-day cruise, Friday to Monday, and it goes to the Bahamas.
Nice.
And so I'm alone with the child, but, I'm with my parents, or like I stayed with them. And because they live 15 minutes away, they're watching him right now. They've been a big help. They watched him when I went to work on Friday. So they've been a big help. Shout out them. Shout out my sisters for also helping. Big alma mater day for Tyler and I. I don't know if Tyler cares as much, but Purdue plays Penn State in basketball, and go Boilers.
Yeah, Wisconsin lost yesterday, sadly.
That's all I got.
Did you like my reply to your tweet, Cam?
Yeah.
The boiler tweet.
Yeah, I saw.
Did quite well, didn't it?
I liked it.
Pretty dull week for us all. I mean, like you said, the first week back, been pretty busy for all of us. Same for me included. Just getting everyone back to grips with it again, getting everyone back in routine and stuff like that. Nothing really much to go over this week. I thought we'd start off today before going on to the movie reviews. We've got a fair few to do today. Not all of us have seen, some of us have. But I thought I'd start off with what we've been watching. George, I know you've watched quite a few this week. What have you watched?
Yeah, I've checked off a couple off my watch list. Minority Report, I've seen before, but it dropped on Netflix on New Year's
I've never
Day.
seen it.
I
You
haven't
should
seen
watch
it
it.
either.
I think you would both enjoy it. It's
Epic
very
Aquafina ad.
it's very underrated Spielberg. It's just like this very like conceptually bold science fiction, a attempt at a futuristic piece, and I really enjoyed it. It dropped on Netflix January 1st, so I know a ton of people that I'm mutuals with on TikTok watched it. I feel like everyone just kind of took advantage of it being on Netflix, and then I watched The Raid and The Raid 2, which a lot of people have been recommending to me. And I'm happy to report that they've like held up to like my level of anticipation. They're some of the best choreographed action films I've ever seen. I actually compared the Raid 1 to Knives Out and the Raid 2 to Glass Onion, where the Raid 2 is just it's bigger, it's bolder, it's larger scale. The stakes feel higher, but I'm always just gonna love like the simple, tight nature of the first Raid. And then I watched the Justice League, Flashpoint Paradox, and How to Train Your Dragon, which I feel like I rewatch both of those movies every other month at this point. I love both of those animated films, and then just the two new releases, which we'll talk about in a bit.
I knew that you would like The Raid. Anyone who likes action films love The Raid. I've not seen the second one, to be fair. I've only seen the first, but it is probably the best choreographed action I've seen.
Yeah,
it just does its job so well.
Yeah, there's one. Each movie had like a scene in particular, and if you haven't seen The Raid or The Raid 2, cover your ears because it's not really a spoiler. It's just more about a fight scene. There's one scene where this one dude takes down a crew of guys holding machetes, and it was the coolest thing in the world.
It's so good. Yeah.
And then there was this like fucking kitchen fight scene in The Raid 2, and I'm sitting on my couch. It was so sick. I was sitting on like my recliner. And this one scene was so sick that I reclined my chair up and like leaned forward just to watch it because I was so goddamn.
The movie
like
theater
forward.
Yeah, or like that meme you see where it's like when you're getting like locked into a game and like, you start like leaning back and then you move forward to like lock in. That's what I did in this one scene watching The Raid 2.
I know
both of those movies are sick.
I've seen that scene on TikTok. I know exactly which it is. Tyler, what have you watching this week? I mean, did you say you had 4? I've not been to the cinema once yet. There's been literally nothing on apart from Till, which I think only Tyler's seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, what have you watching this week?
Yeah, so not Hereditary, even though I promised on Twitter. But the reason behind that is because my girlfriend was working, that too. But my girlfriend was working that night, and then she ended up calling off. So like, it's just not a movie I'm gonna watch with her because I think Cam said the same for his significant other that likes horror but absolutely despises A24. Pretty much the same here. So I know she wouldn't like it, and so I'm just not gonna like.
Hereditary, I wouldn't even say like falls into the like A24 horror where it's just like trying to
naked old women.
Yeah.
Okay, then she would say this is the stupidest movie.
There is, right? I can't remember.
Every A24 horror movie has a naked old woman.
Yeah,
so.
but so maybe it does.
Did you know that? Was that just a get? Was that just a?
No, that's just that's a trope online. It's like every A24 horror movie has a naked old woman.
Valid. And
she would not like that. So since she wasn't working and was home, I wasn't just gonna watch it with her because I knew she would hate it. And it sounds like I'm gonna be right, but I think she works tomorrow night, so that's when I'll watch it. The first night she works so I'm basically home alone. Then I'll watch the movie.
I think you'll
hold on. You're a scared person when it comes to horror film, and you're gonna watch one of the scariest horror films alone in your house.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like, I mean, I'd rather
I think
watch
you'll like it.
Yeah, I'd rather watch it alone than like make her suffer through it and be like, I hate this movie. This is dumb. But I think I'll like it. I genuinely do because I really like Midsommar, and I think Ari Aster's probably going to be good for this.
I think this is so much better than Midsommar. I mean, I know I don't like.
It seems quite different though. Like it's kind of. I feel like it's almost.
No, but in terms of
Midsommar better.
His films,
Midsommar better.
No, that's wild.
Hereditary clean sweeps, bro.
Hereditary has so much more than just the horror.
Hereditary wins this 7-game series 4-0.
I don't even know what that means.
Anyways, I'll review it on next week's pod, and people who follow me on Twitter will hear about it. But yeah, it's just the next time I'm home alone, I'll watch it. But then I also watched the Before trilogy for the first time. Cracked move by HBO Max to just put before sunrise and before sunset on, just like before midnight's not like.
Yeah.
and it's on no other streaming
I'm in
service.
that same boat.
Yeah,
It's the worst one.
I ended up buying it on
Valid.
Amazon Prime because I fell into that just classic trap where it's like $3.99 to rent, $4.99 to buy. I'm like, fuck it, like why not?
That's
Just
literally
buy it.
me, like every day.
At that
I spend
point,
so much money.
It's
on
like
it.
if it's $1 difference,
So-
might as well, and then I don't have to like force myself to like watch it within 48 hours if I don't have to. But absolutely love the trilogy. Didn't like the second as much as the first, which I didn't know it was I guess it's somewhat an unpopular take, but just wasn't nearly as engaged in their musings on life and conversations. And there's just some weird things that rubbed me the wrong way about the relationship. And the third one's just a hard watch, just because like they're just fighting. You're like, just stop, please, be nice.
That's one of those trilogies where like I don't think there's a consensus best or worst film. You could ask 10 people what they think the best is and 10 people what they think the worst is, and you'll get, varying answers. Whereas like you ask someone what the best original Star Wars trilogy is, 99 out of 100 times they're gonna say Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
The Before trilogy, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
which one like stuck with you emotionally? Which one did you think about the most?
For me, it was Before Sunrise for sure. Was my favorite.
Yeah.
And I
What
think
was
is
your
best.
ratings for all of them?
5-star for Before Sunrise, Before Sunset 4-star, and then 4.5 for Before Midnight. So I mean, great trilogy. Like nothing wrong with any of that. Like it was just
I
That's
think
my
it would be
rankings.
second for me in
Which
terms
one?
of trilogies ever.
second.
I can't think of a trilogy.
I don't
I've
think
rated
it's that unpopular of a take though, because so many trilogies aren't balanced. Like so many
Yeah.
fall off in the third or
Have
have
you
like
seen the ratings for all of them? Like
they're
they're
all
all
like
above a
another
4
point,
on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Like I think the first two have like a 4.3 both of them.
Yeah.
That's
And I see on
high.
Twitter a lot of
Yeah.
people are experiencing this trilogy for the first time now that it's on HBO Max. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
been on a major streaming service before, or at least recently, because a lot of people I see are like seeing like, oh, Ethan Hawke, like I'll watch this, give it a try.
I had
trilogy.
posted like my top 10 movie trilogies of all time like a year ago maybe on TikTok, but that was before I had seen the Before trilogy.
Yeah.
So I really got to revisit that because it might be top 5 for me. All of them are 4.5 out of 5s. I rank them the exact same way as Tyler: Sunrise, Midnight, Sunset.
Really?
Yeah, but they are
That's
all
so interesting.
4.5 out of 5.
Fair enough. Cam, what have you been watching?
Kind of in the same boat. You're gonna hate my next statement, but I watched Before Sunrise, and I have
On your phone?
20 minutes left in Before Sunset.
It's an 80-minute film.
I know, dude.
It's
I
an
fell asleep.
80-minute
I fell
film.
asleep. What do you
This
want?
kid
from
is the
me?
worst. This kid is the
I fell
worst.
asleep.
Why do you review films?
It's fine. It's fine. I got a busy.
get it,
I got
get
a
it. It
busy
was
life.
like, if
I
you
got a
said
busy
to me,
life. Man.
if you said to me I fell asleep during Barry Lyndon, fine. It's like 3
Well,
hours.
no, I didn't
so-
fall asleep during Before Sunset, but I was like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to
okay.
bed. Yeah, I didn't fall asleep during it, but yeah, I was like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed now.
You know,
Um,
we've brought this up
I
several
choose to stop.
times.
Yeah, I choose to stop watching.
That's
movies and
worse.
pick 'em
I'm
up
just saying,
later.
I'm surprised like we don't get more comments on our YouTube page or like our TikToks like ripping Cam
Yeah,
to shreds
yeah,
for this.
dude. It's just a movie. It's
It's 'cause-
just a movie.
Yeah, Cam
I
doesn't
just
carry
sit
himself
there
as
and
like
I
this
watch.
serious Roger Ebert
Yeah, no,
type.
I
So
just
if
I
he-
just sit
yeah.
there, I watch it, I move on. Except horror movies, which stick with me forever. But I watched those. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once last night with my dad and mom. And my dad fell asleep during it.
Was that
so
is that your third watch of it now? Fourth maybe?
Yeah, that's my third. And then I'm gonna make my wife watch it. And also I'm trying to like get better at Letterboxd. So I just reviewed it, or I just said like, God, I love this movie. But
You've put words into your reviews now. I am noticing.
I know. I've been doing reviews. But yeah, Before Sunrise was a 5-star for me, and Seth asked me, but I originally added a 4.5 out of 5, and I'm like, nah, this is a 5. So I moved it up
So
right
instead-
after. And so I have 2 reviews. One is
Instead
like
of
my
just
full review.
changing the rating.
Yeah,
you
no,
logged
one
it
is
again
my
as a
full review,
rewatch.
and then the next one is fuck it, nah, this is a 5 out of 5. Yeah, so that's kind of where I was at. I don't know if I've watched any other movies this week. I told Tyler I was going to start the Tyler trilogy.
That just came out of nowhere too.
Yeah, well, I was watching Before Sunrise, which I knew you just watched the trilogy, and I'm like, I need to watch Boyhood, which is directed by Richard Linklater.
I haven't
And
seen
then
it yet.
what was the second movie I said? that I
About
knew,
time.
About Time I haven't watched, so I'm like, I'm just gonna watch one more and call it the Tyler trilogy. I've already seen La La Land, and I know you want that on yours, so maybe I'll just rewatch it because it's so.
No, you can do
Did you-
Eurovision, which is just like
So-
not a great movie, but it has such a soft spot in my heart.
Okay.
Did you watch Apollo 10.5, Cam? Okay.
I liked Apollo 10.5.
How about Dazed and Confused?
I was gonna say.
Oh, that's Richard Linklater.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Richard Linklater. I was gonna say you could just.
Have you all
talk
seen
about it.
Dazed and Confused?
Yes.
I like Days Confused.
I have
I
that
haven't seen it in a few
right
years
there.
though.
Okay, Cam, you got to do that too. Also, that and Boyhood. Dazed
Well,
and Confused.
your
Matthew
favorite guy?
McConaughey's start.
I
No,
might
not my
just,
favorite,
like,
but I love him.
I might just like start like I'll do a Tyler trilogy because it works, and then maybe I'll do like a George trilogy and a Seth trilogy and see who has the best trilogy. So
Low-key,
I
that'd
want
be a
one.
good real talk TikTok if you want to make that. Like,
Yeah.
not even like reviewing them, just saying like what you would
Yeah,
think the
what your-
trilogy of
what
each
your
real
trilogy
talk host would be.
All right, that's fair. That's not a bad pick. But so then if I did that, I would put La La Land in there as to not drag it down with Eurovision. Even though I haven't seen Eurovision, maybe it's a banger.
I mean, I still give it a 4-star and I love it. Like it's just
Okay.
simply not a great movie, but I love it.
It's Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell.
Rachel
but he
McAdams,
kinda- he
who
kind of makes
goated.
stinkers now.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think that's kind of where I'm at though. And then obviously
enough.
I went and saw M3GAN.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. I watched. I
you
showed
mean
Anna
Meg?
Gladiator for the first time. She liked it. Surprisingly, she really liked Gladiator.
I'm
It's so
surprised.
fucking good.
Listen, Anna, if you're listening to me, how does she like Gladiator, but then give Goodfellas a 1 out of 5? Then we
No,
got
Goodfellas. All right, this is what I don't understand about it. There's one of the many things.
her taste in film is all over the place.
So we watched Goodfellas. She's like, oh, it's like a 7 out of 10. And then she puts a 2.5 out of 5, and I'm like, so it's 5 out of 10. And then she's like, no, it's a 7. What does that mean? You're not. That doesn't.
Love that.
Drives me insane.
I love that energy.
Maybe she's just doing the thing that like we always do. Like if someone comes out, like when someone comes to me out of the blue, is like, I love The Gray Man. Like that was one of my favorite movies of the year, and I'm just like, yeah, like that it was fun. And then I'm like, Letterboxd like 1.5 star.
Yeah, but she should know that I'll see it. But yeah, she liked it. I think because we're going through all the Hans Zimmer like films because she hasn't seen a lot of them because we're going to see him in July. So we're going to go
jealous of
through
that.
like she hasn't seen. Give me some Hans Zimmer films. Dunkirk. She's seen the Dark Knight trilogy. She's
Lion
seen
King.
Inception.
Inception,
The Holiday.
Interstellar. I have not
Holiday,
seen The
yeah.
Holiday. That surprised me he did that score. I need to watch
Pirates of
that.
the Caribbean, she should rip.
Oh, no, she's seen them. She likes them.
Okay.
Yeah. But we've got like
he,
loads.
he,
to
he
watch.
didn't solo that one though, but yeah, he's still there.
Also, Gladiator's score is kind of reminiscent to Pirates of the Caribbean a lot.
I
of the
said
time.
that in my review, and you
Very.
guys were all like said I was crazy for saying that.
No, I rewatched it.
Didn't Gladiator come out first
Yeah.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
it
first.
did come out too. So you could say Pirates of the Caribbean similar to Gladiator then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it fits the pirate.
Right. Exactly.
some-
That's why like
there's
after
some
seeing Pirates
scenes-
first and then
I
going back
think
to
it works
Gladiator,
just
I
as
was like,
well
this
for
is
both.
this is
It
weird.
works. Then all I can think about is pirates. It's weird.
Mhm. Yeah.
I watched like 4 of George's favorite director, Ingmar Bergman films. Amazing. I watched a Tarkovsky film, and I got so many fucking comments on my review about that.
Yeah, you got railed.
There's this fan. It's bigger than like Finch because it's you got these like Finch fan bases, Nolan fan bases. They get annoyed. These Tarkovsky guys are like, if you say anything negative, they're all over.
Every single filmmaker has like a dedicated group of 5. I know we joke about like you can't say anything about Fincher or Tarantino on TikTok or else you'll get railed. It doesn't matter.
No, there's these
It
smaller
does
groups
not
as well.
matter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I watched The Sadness, which George, you need to watch.
Okay.
It was this. I think it was Taiwanese. It was just the most outrageous film I've ever seen. Like
Okay.
outrageous. It's
I still
on,
need to see what was that movie you recommended with Mia Goth and
Oh,
Skarsgård?
Marrowbone.
Marrowbone, yeah.
It's got Mia Goth,
one of the Skarsgårds,
and
right?
Taylor-Joy, and what's the guy's name from George McKay from
Yes,
1917?
that's the guy.
He's the
And
main
Charlie
guy.
Heaton, maybe I thought he was in it.
I think it's him. I can never remember his name, but I really like that. I think you would like it.
I gotta catch up on a lot of horror. Victoria's going away at the end of the month with her family. I'm gonna use that time to watch a questionable amount of horror movies.
Does she watch films with you a lot?
She does, yeah. But like, I'm not gonna toss on Marrowbone.
Victoria's a reader, isn't she? More than anything.
She reads a lot.
Similar to
Yeah,
Anna.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
a big reader. She's way bigger on TV shows than she is movies. So
Yeah,
we actually just finished watching The White Lotus season 2.
Is that any good? I've heard.
I
so
liked
good.
it. I didn't love where the final episode like went with like what happened to one particular character. I think it's better than the first season, but yeah, I think they're both 7.5, 8 out of 10s. I think they're very good.
Fair enough. But yeah, we've all been watching pretty good stuff. We'll move on to the reviews now. I think we'll kick it off with the probably the biggest, well, definitely the biggest release from last week. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see it. I think it comes out on like the 13th here, and that is the memed M3GAN. We'll kick it off with George because I thought George would like this, and I thought I would hate this whenever I see it. But George, how did you find it?
Yeah, I came out of this like really disappointed. I wanted this to go the route of like a Malignant or a Violent Night or even a Smile and a Barbarian, where 100% balls to the wall. They embrace the absurdity of this concept and just deliver this like bold, audacious, ridiculous film. I don't know why they dropped the rating down. I believe it was initially R-rated and then they dropped it to a PG-13 rating, and that it just took so much away because like I wanted this movie to be like it wasn't scary at all. I don't know, like Tyler, if you agree, since you're not like that big of a horror person. Like,
at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say like even Victoria wasn't scared of this at all. Like it wasn't scary. There was no gore. It was so.
Isn't it meant to be like a slasher though? I thought it was like a.
I don't know.
It's a slash. It'd be more a slasher than horror, but still, you want horror.
Exactly. Like there was like, God, there was just so much potential here to like truly like give us this next like horror icon, or like this next, I think like Sydney posted on her story, like the next camp cult classic. And it disappointed me like crazy. I wanted more and I didn't get what I wanted. I know that sounds like a spoiled child. Obviously, I'm not the one making the movie. But yeah, this let me down. It was painfully average. It was incredibly predictable. I found out that the young girl, not M3GAN, like the actual human girl, she's the sister of the young girl in the black phone. Yeah, I did not. I found that out this morning. I just saw a tweet and I was like, wow.
When I was shaking my head, yes, I didn't know that's where you were going with that fun fact, but I didn't know that either. So if you're watching this YouTube and I'm shaking my head, yes, no, I didn't know where that's.
Well, what were you shaking your head? Yes,
I thought you were gonna say it's the girl from Haunting of Hill House. I found that out this week.
Oh, young Nell.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my God.
I was like, I know this girl from something, and she's really good in it.
Same.
And in this, she's very fine, but I don't know if she needed to be all that good.
Gosh, she was annoying in this, bro. I hate kids like having tantrums. It's the worst thing in the world. Oh my God.
The fucking bully. We can get into it.
George, what did you rate it?
I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Listen, there were moments that like made me laugh. I think there were some ridiculous moments. Well, I don't know if we're doing spoilers or not, but maybe we'll get into it a little later.
I have a couple.
Yeah, there were just some like ridiculous moments that made me laugh because I just couldn't believe like the cringe fest that I was watching. But I wasn't like pissed off that I watched it. I thought it was fun. I had a good theater experience because the people around me were like having a blast.
Same.
So yeah, I gave it 2.5 out of 5. I think it's right down the middle. It's painfully average. I'm never gonna rewatch it unless I'm like, I don't know, with a friend that's never seen it and they want to watch it. But yeah, those are my overall quick thoughts on this bland ass movie.
Interesting. Tyler, you saw it last night, didn't you?
Yeah, so unlike George, I had a terrible theater experience. It was almost a sold-out show, and like not one of the smaller theaters, because the theater, my local theater, isn't the recliner theater. It's the old like felt cushion. So like you can pack a lot of seats in those theaters. So it's like it was almost sold out of those. All teenagers, like all of them, and it was like me, one seat next to me, and then a row of 8 teenagers, and then in front of them was part of their friend group as well, which was like 14 of them. And probably, so this movie's short. It's like an hour, 40 minutes. And probably 4 times during the movie, every single one of them got up, left, came back in, like 4 different times. Like, I don't know if they went to smoke in the bathroom or what they were doing. And it wasn't just them. Like, I noticed because they were right by me, but everyone in the theater was just like, getting up, leaving, coming back. Like, that's just like what teens do in movies nowadays. So, like, I officially in 2023, it's been on life support for a while, but I now declare theater etiquette officially dead. Rest in peace. Because I went
like old man yelling. Yeah.
No, but like, that's the thing though, because I went to the old way before this, which I'll get to. Elderly people, horrible theater etiquette too. So like I just declare theater etiquette. Yeah, they were just trying to hand the popcorn over, and they're like, "Would you like some popcorn?" Like to 3 people down, she's like, "Oh yes, I'd love that. Thank you."
Adorable.
No, it's like shut the fuck up and silence, please. But yeah, okay. So theater etiquette officially dead. Moving on to the actual movie. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It genuinely felt like what it was in terms of a R-rated movie cut down to PG-13, because it's like if Michael Myers, every time he's about to come into the house, and then they just cut right there every time. So it's like, oh, you see him in the distance, he's approaching, cut. Like every time she was about to do something, it's over. Like I don't even think, like you saw like one moment that was kind of graphic, barely, but it was just a cheap prosthetic. But every moment that was like cool was just cut away from. So it was just kind of.
And I'm assuming you're talking about the ear moment.
Yeah, because I was in the trailer, so.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
not, even,
that clip.
it's not even a spoiler because like they released that entire clip like a week before.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Like the one kill was okay.
Right.
Like, I like.
But every cool moment was in the trailers.
Everything
Yes.
was in the
And-
trailer.
I feel like so many of the scenes for this movie were made with the people that were producing this movie in the boardroom for this saying, oh, social media is going to love this. Like when we do this needle drop of this song, people are going to make TikToks and be like, I can't believe they dropped Titanium by Sia right now. Or I can't believe she started dancing in that hallway. Like, it's like, I feel like they made this purely for the memes.
And they fucking.
Yeah.
The worst moment in 2023 is her singing "Bulletproof."
Yeah.
Titanium.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it wasn't one. She sang like 3 songs.
No, I agree, but that to me in the
That
moment
was-
it was like a night, and the little girl who what's her name in this movie?
I don't know.
Oh God, Harper.
Yeah, who cares?
Who the fuck?
She's like depressed at night or something. Her parents just died, which it's fair to be upset. And like Megan tries to comfort her and tells her she'll never like let anything bad happen to her again, and then starts singing Bulletproof, and I lost my shit, man. I was like, there's no fucking way this is happening right now.
It was honestly just a
hated it.
boring
I
and
hated
bland
it.
movie, which should never be 2 words you should ever say about a horror or like a slash or whatever you want to call this. Like I was just simply kind of bored. But I mean, to give it its fair 2 cents, like what Megan was trying to do was to try to show us what the dangers of the future of parenting could be with the technology reliance and people just putting basically this movie is just like, oh, everyone's being raised with iPads nowadays. Let's just show how bad that could be in the future when things get more bad. So it tried to have commentary on that. So I'm gonna say like I know what they were going for. I'm not like an idiot that I'm like I didn't get the movie. Like I know they were going for it. It was just dumb.
Everyone who makes a movie has never like used technology.
Yeah, you're the
swear
parent. Yeah, you talk. Yeah,
I
and I'm done with mine. I
swear
give it
to
2 star. You
God.
go into your review.
1.5. 32 out of 100. I hate
It's
it.
just escalating down.
Yeah, I really
don't even
didn't
wanna
like
watch
this
this
movie,
now,
and
to be
I like don't know if I said this in my review, and obviously it's a joke, but like I don't think I got the nuance of this. Like I see people throwing out 3.5s, 3 Straw Hat Goofy. I respect you to the end of the world. A 4.2 out of 5 is nuts. Is a nuts score to give this movie.
A 4.2.
He doesn't do like Letterboxd. He
Probably
just
for the
does,
amount
like,
of thousands.
I
he's
just
paying.
watched his review.
I
and
heard
gave-
that time. That was good.
Everyone that's been giving this movie a high score, I see the exact same review where it's like, I love
It's
that this
good.
movie. It's like it embraced
knows
the
what it is.
absurdity. Like, no, it didn't.
No,
it did
it
not
didn't.
embrace the
Yeah.
George,
absurdity
what did
at
you
all.
rate Malignant?
A 4.5 out of 5.
Right. So I've seen
I don't
so
like
many
Malignant
tweets saying
either.
if you like Malignant, you'll like this. Is that incorrect then?
It's very incorrect.
I rated Malignant a 2.5, so I'm gonna rate this like a -2.
I would be
I
shocked if you're not
texted
the
George.
lowest score, Seth.
I texted George and I said, "There's no way he rates this above a 0.5." Sorry, but
Wow.
He as in you, Seth, not me.
Oh, as in me.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Sorry. There's so many. The best part of this movie, and the funniest I laughed is not in a like funny joke. It's at the very start of the movie when, again, I don't know this girl's name, and I wish I did.
Just
but
call her Molly. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll call her Molly, the main daughter. She's playing with her iPad and this fucking stupid ass furry thing that her aunt makes like at the toy company, and this furry like farts and just like laughs. And I hate, first off,
And it
we talked
shits.
about this. Yeah, I hate this. Like everyone puts like fart or poop or pee or puke jokes in their movies. I'm tired of it. It's not funny. It's never been funny. Adam Sandler, you started this thing and it sucks. That's beside the. But the funniest I laughed is when the mom of Molly, right before they die, she's playing with the furry iPad thing, and her aunt got it for her, and she goes, she works for the company that made it, probably didn't even have to pay for shipping. And I just started dying laughing because I was like, you don't care about the price of the doll. You care that this woman didn't pay for shipping. And I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but that was I wrote that line down. That was my favorite. At one point, the bully of Molly, who is Megan's first person kill, if I'm not mistaken, the guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Seth, if I'm spoiling this.
I
don't
could not care less.
The first person that Megan kills is a bully of Molly, I think. And it's the one she rips his ear off. But his mom says, like, have a great day. And he turns around and says, fuck off, Holly. And that had me laughing hysterically.
Dude, so about that bully though, because Cam, I know you saw the Fablemans, and what I think Spielberg does often in his films is like the bullies are kind of cringe, like especially in the Fablemans in the third act. Like I thought they were just over the top, overacting, cringe bullies, like, but at least they were being like, they were kind of basically what bullies can be, just over the top. Whereas in this, the bully, like, okay, maybe I'm just like not exposed to this, but he just straight up like stabs this woman with like, so there's like a spiky pine cone that has a ton of thorns on it. And he just like, here, hold out your hand. And he just puts it on her and just like pushes it into her and stabs her in multiple places, like a very serious injury. It's like, is there actually bullies out there like legitimately committing like first degree assault on people, like stabbing them repeatedly in the forest when their mom's 15 feet away selling lemonade or whatever the hell she was doing?
And then Seth, I'm interested. This is my last point. I just don't care for this movie. Tell me if you can predict the ending. When you see the ending, like you'll be like, oh, that's what's going to happen at the end. I predicted it right away, and that's what happened. But I'm not going to spoil the ending right now, but it was so predictable and so classic. I don't know. It sucked. Who cares?
If I do watch this
George, you're
week,
muted.
I might.
Or maybe you just didn't say anything. But
Am I muted
yeah,
now?
you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't predict like the ending that Cam is talking about. I predicted the ending, like the last shot of the movie.
Oh yeah. They tease a Megan too.
Yeah,
which it's going to get because it's making so much.
They've already started making it.
Yeah, I knew that was coming from the second this woman walked into her house the first time. I was like, this is how the movie is going to end. I didn't expect what Cam had predicted. I completely forgot that was a thing because they just kind of glossed over it.
I was pissed
initially.
I didn't see it coming because like it was so obvious, and it wasn't like it like tricked me. It was just so bland and boring that I was like, oh yeah, that happened. Whatever.
I forgot it was like in the movie for a second.
It's maybe not the most obvious thing ever because it is something that's brushed over so quickly. But as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's going to be the ending.
Yeah.
And I texted George my notes, and that was my like second bullet point. This is how it's going to end. I don't know. This is. I don't see the meme. I don't think it's like, I don't know, like Black Adam, you could tell it would get memed, or Morbius, you could tell it would get memed. Other than the dancing, I don't really know what's going to get.
There are going to be hundreds of Megans for Halloween this year.
I'm sick of it already.
I don't know. Do you think it'll last that long, man?
I don't think
I think it'll be a phase.
I don't think it will, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the only thing working against it is that it's 9 months away. But if this was like a summer release, for sure, I agree.
Yeah. I think it's too long.
It's going up, or the rating is just continuously going up.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes is, and I'm a Rotten Tomatoes like it's not that bad guy. I don't think it's the best thing ever, but
it's that
98%.
Okay, well, it started like a 2.7 on Letterboxd when it came out. It's like a
3.4. Yeah, it was 3.3 last, but
what is disgusting.
I hope Megan inspires the next generation of engineers like Iron Man did for Cam. I hope people are like, I saw Megan in theaters and want to be an engineer now.
Maybe it will.
Yeah.
But just like last thing on my theater experience is theater etiquette's officially dead. Like that was a horrible experience. But I will say I feel bad for theater employees because there's like 3 different supervisors that like walked in and were like flashing lights at people and be like, turn off your phone, stop talking. Like we're gonna have to throw you out.
Oh.
Yeah, so they actually came in.
Is that a common thing? Because that never.
No, I've never seen that before. So I was like, okay, at least they're trying. Like I feel bad because I'm guessing what it was because I went to the 8:00 showing on a Saturday. So I'm guessing every Megan showing on Friday, Thursday was just like horrible. So by then they're like, guys, like every Megan theater, you're just gonna have to go in every 20 minutes and just tell people to shut up because it's a shit show.
I'll say my theater experience wasn't that bad. George, you said you had people who were like, a lot of people were hysterically laughing in this, and the bonus I give it is that it made me laugh, and it was intentionally trying to be funny, but it's not listed as a comedy, and that's kind of what pisses me off. On Letterboxd it is, but Letterboxd has like 25 tags.
Is it listed as a comedy on Letterboxd?
Yeah. So yeah, but like on IMDb, and I don't know if I feel like you have to list something as a comedy if you want to make it funny or campy or whatever. Because I don't know. It feels like horror. It feels like horror is kind of straying towards a horror comedy route, and that may just be because I don't watch a ton of horror. But the big releases I do watch, and the big releases are like a horror comedy route. It feels like Barbarian having a lot of comedy in it. That was like the biggest horror movie of last year. I guess X and Carrie.
It's just easier to market, isn't it? It's easier to market.
And I don't know.
I just person about that.
It takes it away from me sometimes, but like if you make like a horror comedy like Bodies, I feel like it really, really works. And I feel like this comedy in M3GAN was not like, this is a comedy movie. This is so stupid, people are gonna laugh at it, and I don't like that. I don't think that works.
Going off that, this is the type of movie to me that gives horror a bad name, because the casual moviegoers that like don't watch many movies, like so many of my friends have this opinion, which I've had for the longest time too. Is no, I don't watch horror movies because they're always just like stupid plots, bad acting, waste of my time. This is exactly what this is. Like, I'm like George, where I didn't hate watching it. Like, I watched it, I was like, that was fine. But this is exactly why like the casual moviegoer says like horror movies suck, because it's just like a dumb concept.
They do suck though.
The ones that get big are
the majority of horror is bad. I think horror is like
so. This is just like the type of stuff that'll give it a bad name. But I mean, just I don't know. And like another thing, Cam, that I just thought was funny, and George, you saw it, is the beginning when she's building M3GAN the first time with their coworkers. You can't just create a door in your office in a building that locks your boss out. Like, he doesn't have access to a card, but she's like her boss.
Bro, this is the CEO.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And also, this is like in the movie, it's like the biggest toy company in the world. You're gonna tell me that their 3 engineers are like just 3 idiots under the age of 35,
right? And you're fired on site if your CEO's locked out trying to get in. You're just looking at him and just like working on something. It's like, what the hell?
At one point, they do say like, "This is gonna make Hasbro shit their pants" or something, and that kind of made me laugh. Or they make some joke about Hasbro. But Jesus, And then when he's like, "Were you Pornhubbing in the office again?" Like, so much of this movie was so much of this movie was purely just because they were like, "Oh, I bet someone's gonna tweet this." Like, how crazy this line was. I guess that's why M3GAN kind of got away with that murder of the guy who was stealing like information from the company. But there was like nothing from that plot line. Maybe that was all they wanted.
I think that when M3GAN killed, sorry again, Seth, for spoilers, but when M3GAN killed that guy, I was like, no way was that like ominous like 5 minutes that we watched this man steal all of this like data from his computer, just put in the movie for like an excuse to frame him.
Yeah.
Like,
I literally thought the whole thing was going to be that he was so jealous of her that he was corrupting M3GAN to make her like kill people. Like, I thought that was gonna be the thing, but no, it's stupider than that. Don't give him that much credit in their writing.
It's like the scene in Knives Out where Benoit Blanc is like, "Oh, it's so dumb," and then Kate Hudson's like, "Oh, it's so brilliant.
It's so dumb. It's brilliant."
Like, no, it's just dumb.
I love that audio right now. By the way, it's good quality.
I'm done with my M3GAN right there, though. So.
Yeah, we could wrap up M3GAN. Trash.
I mean, I might watch it. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, to be honest. The only reason I was going to is because speak about it on the podcast, and I was going to do it for views, but that doesn't even seem to work.
That's so, but like I'm just wondering if it was like
George. I thought you post your review. Okay, that's going to bang.
Right.
No, but first, like even Straw Hat's video not doing great views. Chris's video, who's been literally the view god lately, is doing terribly. It's like,
and they're not even like flops. Like they're like flops. Like
they're like if I just made a whole video saying go follow ReelTok Podcast.
Right. Which I wonder if it's like TikTok has like a vengeance against M3GAN, because their marketing budget was obviously insane. They've been publishing. Maybe they just weren't marketing on TikTok. So TikTok's like, I see them on Twitter. I see them on all these other social medias. Like, fuck M3GAN. We're not going to promote their shit.
Any hashtag M3GAN is getting shadow banned.
Even like Cinema Joe got like 100K, and that's not a lot.
That's not a
like,
lot for him.
for his video.
But
No.
it's like it's every type of review. Like I posted a serious review. I was like, I didn't love this movie. Blah blah blah. Other people are like posting like, oh, this is
Meme
peak, but,
reviews,
like joke.
yeah.
Like the way I posted for Violent Night.
Violent Night.
That's what everyone is posting for M3GAN, I guess, hoping for views. But like nothing is working for this.
That's
movie.
what I would have done.
Like it's so strange.
That's a weird one. But yeah, I mean, I might watch it this week, and then I'll speak about it next week. But I'm not 100% sure. Tyler, there's 3 films this week that you watched that I don't believe any of us watched. So I think the best thing to go first of all would be The Pale Blue Eye, which I think was just me and George. Cam, did you manage to watch it?
I didn't get around to it. I'll watch it.
So
Yeah, same.
me and George
I'll
had like
check
different opinions, and so far a lot of people do. I think it's sitting at like I want to say like a 6.5 IMDb.
Yeah, I think it bumped up to a 3.1 on
3.1.
Letterboxd. Yeah.
Yeah, so like just like low 3s. I mean, I'll go over the actual synopsis first. So, a seasoned detective investigates a series of murders at the U.S. Military Academy in West Point in 1830s, assisted in his investigation by an intelligent and eager young cadet named Edgar Allan Poe. If you're a fan of literature, you would have heard his name before. I'm not, so when I go into this, I'll come in from that angle. And he obviously went on to be one of the America's most influential authors and the originator of the detective genre. Pretty good cast, Christian Bale's in it. Dudley, whose name I forget, Harry Melling, that's the one. Gillian Anderson, Robert Duvall, Timothy Spall, Toby Jones, loads of good guys. I'll pass over to George first because he definitely liked it more than I did. Yeah, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised when I came out of this movie because the reviews have been very mixed. A lot of my mutuals are giving it 3.5 out of or 4 out of 5 stars. A lot of them are giving it 2.5, 2 out of 5 stars. So the reviews have been all over the place, so I didn't really know what to expect. But Christian Bale is my favorite actor, so I'm going to watch anything he's in, regardless of the reviews. But yeah, I just came out of it like really pleasantly surprised. It was a very, tight, claustrophobic feeling detective film. I typically don't love that era of America in film. It typically bores me. And I will say that this movie clocks in at 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is a bit long. It does drag at times. I thought this screenplay was a really good opportunity for Christian Bale and Harry Melling to just act their asses off, and that's exactly what they did. If it wasn't for their performance, I don't think I would have been as invested in this film as I was. And then I also said this movie, takes a turn. This isn't really a spoiler, but like the murder in question is solved, and there's still 40 minutes of the movie left. So I was like, okay, we're going somewhere, and I really liked where the movie went. Seth actually texted me saying, the ending is either gonna turn you off or turn you on, and it turned me on. I really liked where this film went because the first 70% of this movie, it was a very cut and dry, straightforward detective murder mystery that we've seen it 100 times. We're gonna see it 100 times more, and I like that this movie just took this risk by completely turning on its head in that last 30 to 40 minutes. I also just love, and Seth and I were literally just talking about this before we started recording this podcast. It has a very Tim Burton feel to it. It's very foggy. It's very atmospheric and eerie. I made the comparison in my TikTok video that it's like, imagine if Sleepy Hollow wasn't quirky. Imagine if it wasn't almost geared towards a comedy. Imagine if Sleepy Hollow, the vibes of that movie were just put in a very serious drama. That's what The Pale Blue Eye gives you. And I know Tim Burton's, aesthetic, is hit or miss depending on who you're talking to. It's very hit for me. So yeah, I thought it was good. It dragged at times, but it's 2 incredible performances and a story that, decently compelled me, especially towards the end of it.
Okay, cool. Do you 3.5? Did you say?
I give it 3.5.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a little bit different. I didn't hate it. I give it 2.5. It's a weird one. I think first of all, Harry Melling was definitely the standout for me. I think that was the same for you. He was great.
It's unreal watching and Christian Bale was fantastic. This is no knock to Christian Bale, but when you're in a movie with Christian Bale and Christian Bale isn't the best actor,
It's an accomplishment.
You've done something very well.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was definitely the standout for me. He really surprised me. A lot of people who know, Edgar Allan Poe, they said that he fit, him really well anyway. So that went down well with a lot of people. I think, first of all, the production design was great. There was clearly a lot of money into this film. It had the Tim Burton aesthetic, which will work for some, doesn't work for others. Tim Burton's a bit on and off for me. He can be really good. He can't be really good. Obviously, it's not a Tim Burton film, but it has that kind of feel. And I think George's comparison, like with the Sleepy Hollow, is as accurate because I think it's very reminiscent, just obviously a lot more comedic and quirky in a Sleepy Hollow way. Christian Bale was also very good, and like George said, it's a massive accomplishment to overshine Christian Bale on a set because he is, always the guy. Similar to other films he's done this year, like obviously Amsterdam, he was, the obvious standout there, and how many good actors were there in that?
Mm-hmm.
He was the obvious guy who was just overtaken over. I just found it quite overly long. I think this film could have been condensed. Like the last sort of 40 minutes were finding out, I won't spoilers, but what actually happened in the mystery. I think that could have been condensed down to honestly like a 10-minute conversation with Christian Bale's character and Harry Mellon's character. I found it a little bit uninspired. I don't feel like anyone was really there for me apart from Harry Mellon and Christian Bale. Like I think a lot of the performances were quite theatrical, which again is a preference whether you like it or not. Like Gillian Anderson's performance, I didn't particularly love. I think she was a bit theatrical for me. I think it pretty monotone. Like I found it quite boring for most of the time. I will say that the last 30 minutes, kind of like the reveal of the mystery, like it will work for you very well. I liked the ambition. I liked the way they didn't just go down like the boring route of what everyone expected to happen. I didn't expect it, so they got me there. It just didn't particularly work for me. I just think there was a lot going on in this film. I think it was quite hard to follow all the time. I found it a little bit boring. But I will say that the costume design, especially, and the production design, like was really, really good, and I can understand why people like this a lot. But for me, it was just okay. I honestly think if this had been like 25 minutes less, it probably would have been like a 3 for me. I just think there was so much of it they could have cut out, to be honest. Like it did. I had this issue like where it was definitely not as bad as Amsterdam. I enjoyed it more than Amsterdam. But I just think these kind of murder mystery things, if you're not, Knives Out, for example, they don't need to be 2 hours plus the majority of them. Especially when like Knives Out, there's so many characters you can go into and stuff like that. In this, there's not really. Most of the characters for me were quite boring. So what I would say is, I didn't mind it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's most people seem to be about that range down there. Like I've not seen many people give it like a half a star or a 1. But I've not seen many people give it like a 4.5 or a 5. It's mostly around the middle. So I'd give it a watch anyway. George, have you got anything else to say? I don't think we need to go into spoilers with this one.
No, I don't think we need to go into spoilers. Just one thing to like your acting point, because I do agree with you there. I don't think anyone else really like stood out besides Christian and Harry, but I also don't think the screenplay was geared towards that. Like
No.
They were the only two that like required like genuine acting chops, especially that like final conversation they have talking back and forth to one another. I thought that was just super simple. They're literally just in a living room chatting back and forth, and I was like, "Fuck, they are so good at acting. It's unbelievable."
Yeah.
But you are absolutely correct on the runtime. It did not need to be 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I think that's what's turning a lot of people off because it does take an hour and 40 minutes to get to like solving the murder or solving like what you think is the
Especially
solution.
like after everyone watched Amsterdam, another mystery with Christian Bale as the lead, and that was overly long as well. Amsterdam was probably what, like 2 hours 15, something like that.
Yeah, Amsterdam was a bit
If
runny too.
if they watched that, they'll look at this and be like another murder mystery, Christian Bale,
Yeah.
Netflix original. It just too long. I just don't
Yeah.
think we need to have film. Every film doesn't need to be 2 hours plus. We can still have. I'm not saying this film could have been like an hour 20, but maybe like an hour 45, an hour
Yeah.
50, that sort of time.
I can understand the decision to make it 2 hours and 10 minutes, especially if they like, because they did commit to that ending. They did say, okay, we are gonna, turn this movie around completely for this viewer. So we want to get these guys, anyone watching this movie, as invested into this murder mystery as possible, because we want them to truly think that like when we solve it, it's solved. Like they've racked up all of this evidence. They've taken all this time to dissect every character and every like motive of people that they're investigating. So that when that, and I'm trying to like avoid spoilers as much as possible. Like when that final like, oh, this is what actually happened comes, it's gonna hit you as like hard as it hit me, because it truly, like, I didn't see that coming at all. I didn't see that like at all. Like once I saw 40 minutes on the clock left after they had solved the what? Whoa, the murder.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, something's gonna happen. Like, there's no way they're gonna drag out the ending of this movie 40 minutes. Like, something's gonna happen. And that's where I kind of like perked up. I was like, all right, now I'm locked in. Like, what's about to happen? And that's what saved the movie. Because I did text you. I was like, this movie is gearing towards a 3 out of 5. It was just super middle of the pack. It did bore me a little bit in the beginning. I think there was a lot of dead weight. After like the first half hour of introductions of these characters, there was just a lot going on that I didn't care for. And then the ending like kind of saved my experience because I genuinely did love where they took this movie.
Interesting. But I mean, yeah, so 2.5 for me, 3.5. Tyler and Cam. Cam, do you think you're going to get a chance to watch it next week at all?
Yeah,
I'll watch it this week too.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
so
see
you
when,
can like
but I'll watch
give
it.
your input on next week, whatever, that's fine. Tyler, you went to see Woman Talking. I think that was that yesterday or the day before?
Thursday. So 3
Oh, was that
days ago.
Thursday? Okay, cool. So this is like one of my most anticipated films, and this doesn't come out for us until like start of February. Tyler, I know you really liked it. Go ahead. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, so, first thing it's a Seth film for sure. And I don't mean that in terms of the style of film. I mean, it has Jesse Buckley and Frances McDormand. So I feel like that's just like double trouble for some of your
No,
favorite
that's a
actors.
Seth and George film. Francis
True,
McDormand.
George loves Frances McDormand. But this movie, I loved it. It's deeply metaphorical. The score in it's amazing. It's like all acoustic guitar, orchestral score that I absolutely loved. I've been just like casually listening to it while I've been like cleaning the house and stuff. But basically, it's a movie that there's women in an isolated religious colony that they're getting, whether they're children or they're wives of people or they're teenagers, they've been sexually assaulted. And basically what they have now to do is they have 2 days where they have to decide, are they going to flee the colony and leave, or are they going to stay and fight and try and get justice? So basically the whole movie for an hour and a half or so is them debating the pros and cons of should they leave, should they stay and fight. And it's just a bunch of women talking like the title implies. A lot of people are talking about this on Twitter in terms of awards season because there's one guy in this movie and then the rest are all these women that are talking. It's Rooney Mara, Jessie Buckley, Claire Foy, ton of brilliant actresses. And none of them are getting nominated for supporting actresses, but the guy is getting some supporting actor buzz. So it's just kind of not the best look, but it makes sense to me because there's literally like 10 amazing supporting actresses in this movie and one supporting actor. So to me, I'm just guessing that all the actresses are just splitting votes from the committee or from the.
Who would you say was the standout performance?
So Jessie Buckley's getting the most, like of all of them, is getting the most buzz. But for me, I think Rooney Mara was the best. But I think she might be technically main actress, and the rest are supporting. So maybe that's why she's not getting any supporting actress buzz. But I thought it was really brilliant. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I'll kind of leave it at that. It's just I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Really close to a 5 though, like really truly close. I thought it's just a simple story. It's an hour and a half long. There's some graphic imagery for sure, but deeply metaphorical, says a lot. And it's one of those that like once the final scene hits and it goes in the end credits, you're just kind of sitting there like, damn. And you're just kind of sitting there silent. And then finally you get up and leave, but it's intense for sure.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and Seth asking, what did you rate it after you give your thoughts on a movie?
The people want to know. They like.
I know. That's a good question.
People want to know.
Yeah.
You went to see A Man Called Otto, which I'm probably not going to watch. I'll be honest with you. Like, I know you rated quite decently. It's based on is it called A Man Called?
Man called Uwe.
Uwe. Okay, yeah. Which is obviously a Swedish film that came out in like 2016.
Swedish film in 2015 that's based off of a novel. So it's a novel that was adapted into Swedish film. It's now adapted into American film. A lot of people are commenting on my TikTok review being like, what did you expect? Like, didn't you read the book? Hey, I don't think reading a book should ever be a prerequisite to seeing a movie. So I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't read the book, before going to see a movie.
I can't read. Like, we're not reading.
Why do you think we watch movies? And
yeah.
The most reading I do is subtitles. And this movie to me, the only trailers I saw was before like every single theater release saw in December. And it was always just like 30 seconds of Tom Hanks yelling at a couple backing in a trailer that was fucking up. To me, like, I'm sure I got the vibe there's gonna be some sadness, but for me, I thought it was gonna be mostly just like old man yelling at cloud type humor, which there was a ton of. Like, this is definitely geared for the older generations because there's so much. Millennials are so stupid jokes throughout this entire movie. Like people calling Allen wrenches Alvin wrenches, and there's so many just cringe jokes like that gets the old people hooting and hollering in the theater. But this movie is genuinely incredibly depressing, like very sad. I can't wait to watch A Man Called Uwe now because I'm sure it's better. I mean, it's just kind of what happens with readaptations. But Tom Hanks we've all talked about it. Just had a terrible 2022 with Pinocchio and his performance in Elvis. He was solid in this, like definitely way better than his 2022 performances. So I thought he did good. It's weird because it was based on a Swedish film, and they made this film weirdly Swedish. Like, so it's in America, but all of his neighbors are Swedish with thick, like, well, I guess one's Hispanic, but he has like these Swedish neighbors that are like always in ski coats and ski jackets and talking in thick Swedish accents. I'm like,
don't make the film.
I get that you're adapting a Swedish film, but like you don't need to just put Swedish people in your film doing the most stereotypically Swedish Alps people.
That's going to annoy. If you're going to adapt a film from like 8 years ago, people are going to be annoyed as it is. But at least they're doing like an adaptation where it's not, similar to the other one, putting just stereotyping Swedish people in it. People are going to hate that.
It was corny, man. But genuinely, so the movie's like 2 hours long. Genuinely, the first 40 minutes, I was completely out. I wasn't actually going to leave, but I almost, because the first 40 minutes is purely just jokes about how stupid young people are and how they couldn't even screw in a light bulb, or they'd break their neck if they even tried, and that the world is so annoying now, and that old people's generations is the best, and that, I can't believe people are driving Toyotas, we need Fords and shit. Like, just, you guys know exactly the type of jokes they were. And that was probably for 40 minutes where I was just like, I'm about to leave. Like, it was just not me. But final hour and 20 just go completely sad, completely depressing. Sure, it leaves a little like hope and good message at the end, but it's just purely depressing. Like, it's almost to the point of just trauma porn, of just like sad after sad after sad. Like, I got emotional. Everyone was like, there's so many people crying in the theater. I thought it was good though. Like, I gave it 3.5 out of 5. I'm sure if I see A Man Called Ove, I probably will drop this down because I don't know. It's kind of hard to rate the remake. I don't know. It depends on how good that is. I'm sure I've heard really good things about it. I know Chris, Movies Are Therapy, commented on my TikTok saying like A Man Called Ove is incredible. So I'll watch that. But yeah, this is just depressing watch for sure. And from the trailers, I genuinely did think this was going to be just like a stupid comedy with some sadness. And like, I feel like we all thought when we saw the trailer of A Man Called Otto that it was going to be Tom Hanks is grumpy. Eventually, by the end of the movie, he becomes happy. And something happens that makes him like appreciate everyone, which doesn't even really happen. It's just kind of just depressing. But I'll leave that there. I gave it a 2 out of 5. Or no, not 2 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5. I was looking at my M3GAN score. 2 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5 for Man Called Otto.
You also watched a film I hadn't even heard of, which is a Nicolas Cage-led Western called The Old Way. It's currently got 220 logs on Letterboxd and a 2.7. 220.
So I don't know if your theaters are like this local to you, but my theater will show all the normal releases. Then occasionally, or pretty much always, they'll have some old movie that's in theaters you can go and watch.
Yeah, my independent ones do that a lot. Yeah.
So before I clicked on this, I just totally thought The Old Way, because I'd never heard of it, and it was Nick Cage, who like theoretically could have been in a Western 15 years ago. So I just totally thought this was just not a new movie. And I clicked on it, I saw 2023. I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, you know what? It's an hour. It was short. It was an hour and a half long. I'll go see it right before M3GAN, because it just perfectly lined up to where this movie ended like 2 minutes before M3GAN started. So it didn't have much downtime. And so also, I bought my ticket an hour before. I was the only seat in the house. I'm trying to pull up my notes that I took on the movie because I did a cam during this movie. But I was the only ticket in the house. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll just be alone in the theater. I'll be able to text and do whatever. Like, I'm not expecting much from this movie. I walked in. I thought I walked in the wrong theater because it was absolutely packed. So I was like, I guess I forgot. Our generation does app purchases of movies beforehand, whereas everyone else goes to the box office like, I'd like a ticket to the 8 p.m. showing of The Old Way, please. So I walked in. I was like, what the I'm in the wrong theater because it was packed.
For The Old Way?
Yeah, but these are people that are not logging it on IMDb or Letterboxd. So that's why it still says only 220
It just surprises me because like I've not even heard of this film.
Yeah, I think it was the city I'm in was just like popping last night. There's a bunch of restaurants right by the theater, so it was probably just one of those things that a bunch of people went to dinner and they're like, "Oh, let's go see a movie. Oh, there's a Nicolas Cage movie. Sure, we'll see, or a Western." So the first thing that I've saw people talking about it on Twitter, which is so true, comical amount of production companies. So you know how our intro before the podcast is like there's graphics and there's song like music and there's 6 of those, all different. So you know most times when a movie starts it's like the production companies, but it's kind of already has the talking or the score of what the actual movie's going to be, and it's just like flashing the text. No, this is the ReelTok intro, but for 6 different production companies, where it's like a rock song with these graphics, and then it'll become like this pop song with this other graphics. 6 of those, and then after that, goes in the same thing, but with the black screen and the text showing up, that redoes the same exact things, like Searchlight Pictures, whatever production, 6 times again. And then finally at the end for the 7th one is the director saying, whatever film. And it's legitimately like 3 minutes long. And even there were some people in the theater that are like, good Lord, when's this movie going to start? It's just a comical amount of production companies, which is just crazy because this movie's only 90 minutes and it's genuinely bad. So there's this many companies attached to it. So his, you guys don't care if I spoil this, right?
Not at all.
Oh, I
So
will not be watching
this is like this feels like the most basic Western ever. Basically, Nicolas Cage's wife is killed, so he has to go track down the killers and kill them. But he has a daughter with his wife, so he used to be the biggest, baddest outlaw, and now he's kind of he's retired now as a family. He doesn't want to be involved with that anymore. His daughter's like, I've never even seen my dad hold a gun. So his wife is killed, so now he has to go chase his wife's killer, but his daughter's still alive. So he goes to his daughter's bed and points a gun at her head, and he's planning on killing her because he says he can't go back to his old life since his daughter's still in this world. So his thought is, his wife just gets killed, so I'm going to kill my daughter, so then I will feel mentally okay with going to kill my wife's killers. But his daughter wakes up and is like, Mommy wouldn't like you pointing that gun at me. So then he's like, oh yeah, you're right, I'm not going to shoot you. Stupid. George, was it you that said you hate when little girls have tantrums in movies, actresses?
Yeah.
This
Don't we
girl...
all?
This girl which is a family line trait that she got from her father. She's incapable of crying. So she just physically can't cry no matter what. So Nick Cage needs her to cry to like throw off a sheriff. She's like, I don't know how to cry. So he's like, just cry like you've seen people cry before. So she's standing there for 30 seconds just saying, wah, wah. And I was just like about to actually suffocate myself. And I was like, this is the most cringe thing ever. But just... someone's incapable of crying, like and Nick Cage is incapable of fear. He's like, I've never felt fear in my life, like legitimately, like they say there's something wrong with them. Then lastly, teaches his daughter how to shoot. Like there's a whole scene of him like, I'm gonna need you to shoot this gun, like when we're gonna get in this fight. Teaches her how to shoot, sets up a hat for her to shoot at, shows her the technique, and then when the actual fight comes, she just abandons everything he's taught her. She's like holding, she headshots a guy, and she's just like holding the pistol like just in the front of her stomach and just like shoots, and then just like right to the freaking center of the head. So she got all that training for nothing. Just a lot of cringe.
Was it like a
moments.
low budget kind of thing? Was it?
It felt like it. It felt like something that was filmed in 2 days and they had no time for reshoots, and because
no time for marketing either.
And it's one of those things too. Like on top of how bad the dialogue was, the villains were not charismatic, and how stupid so many of the plot lines were. Like on top of all that, Nick Cage is just genuinely awful as like an actor of an old Western bad boy guy, and it was just, it's a 1.5 out of 5. And the only reason I give it a 1.5 is because I was intrigued enough. Like I honestly was more intrigued in the plot of this than M3GAN, because M3GAN I was just bored. I was like, I feel like I already know where this is going. I knew where this is going too, but maybe it's just I like Westerns, so I just kind of was like, okay, I kind of want to see where they're gonna go with this and whatever. But so 1.5 is a brutal score. 1.5 out of 5. Nick Cage came back in 2022 with Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Kind of got his name back out there. I thought he was going to do the same for the Western genre, start bringing that back so we can get some more Hell or High Waters out there, some more Django Unchained. But no, this is not a good film. You don't need to see this. I
don't know about you three or YouTube. I will not be watching that.
Yeah, I won't.
No.
Actually, no, Cam will be.
I probably will.
Yeah,
Cam will be.
If we're done with the old way, I forgot that I'd seen a lot more movies this week, and they just have already left my mind because they're so bad. Because I was diving.
What did you see?
What was that? The first.
It was
one?
a Gamer.
Me and Anna were laughing.
Oh yeah. How did Gamer? How'd that go for you?
Gamer was really bad. I think I already forget what I gave all these things, so give me a second.
I think it was a 1.5.
You gave Gamer a 1.5.
Yeah, so kind of what I was doing is I was just on Hulu, and I was like, what was I gonna watch? There was a movie I was going to watch, but as I'm scrolling, I was like, I'm just gonna click on a random movie and watch it. And so I did that, and it was Gamer. And then from Gamer I went into Upgrade. It's just on my mind. What did I watch? Seth or George, you've seen it. It's
Upload.
Oh man, I'll find it. Oh god, Letterboxd is so fucking annoying.
Yeah,
No,
just
it's
sort it
not.
by the
Go
most
on the
recently
diary.
logged.
Just go to your
I know.
diary.
You didn't do it at the time. Though,
Diary. Yeah, I did. Now I did it. Okay, so I watched Boss Level, which honestly
was a
wasn't
good
that
movie.
bad. Yeah, like
I
it
enjoyed
was
Boss
pretty good.
Level.
It was pretty fun. It was from 2021, but it looked like it was going to be really shit. So I was like, I'm going to watch this, and then I was honestly surprised. So sometimes you'll find that gem. But I watched. I also watched I'm in Love with a Church Girl
Oh,
That's the
God.
one.
That
that's the
TikTok
one I
review
was
is
like,
brilliant.
Your review
with,
made me
with Ja
cry.
Rule.
Didn't we
And I
talk about
said-
this last week?
Well, I said I watched. No, because last
There
week
was
was
day
our
after, wasn't it?
ReelTok
Reward,
Awards.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
awards.
So we didn't watch it. I start my year on a low note, and then it can only get better from there, right? We'll see. It's a 3 out of 100, I believe. It's just
What's
so-
the three? What's the 3 points for?
I don't know. It didn't make me want to rip my eyes out. I guess
How can a 3 out of 100?
365 days. I don't know.
No, I agree with Cam. You got to reserve like the 1s and 2s for stuff
Yeah,
that's bad, but also
well,
like abhorrent. And
I definitely have like a couple notes on it that Vanessa's parents are definitely racist because when they meet Ja Rule's character, they're like, they say something really, really bad. I forget what it is.
Well,
there's
don't say it on the podcast.
No, it's not racist, but like it like implies racism. Well, I'm like, you're a fucking racist. What? Then there's a Jerry Rice cameo, so that's great. And then so what it's about is Miles is an ex like drug dealer, or he's like the main man in the drug dealing. But he's out of the game, but his friends are still drug dealing, and then I think he collects maybe just like a percentage of that. I don't know. He's super rich. The IRS and the FBI and the FDA, everyone's like looking at him, you know. And then he meets this church girl, as the title implies, and then like his mom dies, and then they get in a car accident, and then he starts praying. And I guess it's based on a true story, but either way, it sucks. And then like he prays, and there's a divine intervention miracle of she's saved and gets the church girl is saved, is out of the coma. He turns his life around, but all of his drug dealing friends go to prison except him, and I can only assume that happens because he snitched on them, and he's writing to them as if like they're pals, right? Because they're all in prison, and he's like, when we get out, we'll be best friends, right? And I'm like, these people would hate you. They will kill you when you get out. You definitely ratted on all of them, because how did you not go to prison? I don't know. It's really stupid. It's truly horrible, but it was a funny. I don't know. Everyone gets mad about watching these like really shit movies. I just like, I find them funny for how bad they are.
And I can't imagine you were sitting there alone on the couch, locked in, not on your phone, or like fully giving all your attention to this movie.
I watched this on my phone. I will admit. But
this is a film I don't mind him watching on his phone.
Yeah,
It's
no.
fine.
Fair.
Like, this to me is more fun to watch than like a 2.5 or like a 1.5.
No,
like, those are bad, but it's like, this is just so like
This is just bad.
mediocre.
It's not funny bad.
This is like so mediocre. I don't care.
Was Church Girl a
but yeah.
2023 release?
No, 2013.
Oh, okay. Then no reason. to watch it.
Okay, so
That's
what
why
I
it
did is like
surprised
I
me.
googled like really bad movies, and then it took me to Prime Video for something, and then I just like kind of went down in the rabbit hole, and this is like what popped up, and I'm like, I'm in love with a church girl. Sounds like one of the worst names in movie history, and it stars Ja Rule, and I just had to turn it on.
Was Ja Rule the one who did the fire? Whatever.
Yeah, Firefest fella.
Firefest.
And then 10-minute critic, he commented on my TikTok and was
What?
like, if you know him as, or 1 minute critic, sorry. He commented on my TikTok and was like, if you know him as the Firefest guy, you're young. And I'm like, sorry. That's kind of what he's known for, I feel like. But I forgot about those. Also, I watched Strange World for the first time, which was just kind of mediocre.
Very forgettable also.
Disney Pixar. Yeah, kind of a bummer because of how much I love like animated movies in general. So
Cool.
That's all I got. Just I forgot about I'm in love with a church girl.
We should make a real talk just for a real quick of just Cam's bad watches. of the
Every
week.
shit movie Cam watches.
That's it.
I'm at like 96 or not, maybe 94. 0.5 out of 5 stars. So
That's
I gotta
a
get
lot.
I'm
That's
at
a
94.
lot.
I gotta
I've
get
got
to
like
100.
30, I think, if that.
I gotta get to 100.
Okay. Well, we'll transition over. We will speak about Nick Cage. Perfect transition into Renfield, which is a new Chris McKay film. We obviously got the trailer. I'll read you a synopsis of this. Having grown sick and tired of his centuries as Dracula's lackey, Renfield finds a new lease on life and maybe even redemption when he falls for feisty, angry traffic cop Rebecca Quincy. This is a horror comedy that's just come out. I don't know if you guys watched the trailer, but Nicholas Hoult is playing Renfield, and then Nicholas Cage is playing Count Dracula as well. Did any of you guys watch the trailer for this?
Yeah,
so
the two
It
movies
looks
I was
so
at
fun.
yesterday had the trailers before it, and this looks so bad. And I feel like I'm just like out on Nick Cage, which I think a lot of people are out on Nick Cage, but he's
I
gonna
think
be.
everyone's
He looks
back
so
in on Nick Cage.
Yeah, so I'm staying out.
No one watched
Because
the
he was
old
so
way.
bad in the old way, and he's
No one
so
watched
looks
that.
so stupid and bad in this trailer. And I know he's gonna be so stupid and bad. People are gonna be like, "Oh, it's campy, it's corny, it's Nick Cage. You gotta love it." No, like stop being a sheep. It's bad acting. If it's anyone else's name, you would say this is shit and this is a bad Dracula interpretation. But because it's Nick Cage, we're gonna say this is a cult classic. I don't know. I still have high hopes. I like Nicholas Hoult, and it looks maybe funny, but every time he went on the screen, the trailer was like, "This is gonna be so stupid and bad."
Yeah.
Rant over.
Ridiculous. Anyone else got anything on that?
I have nothing about this, man. It might be funny. This at least
It will be
this
funny.
this
It
is
will
a
be.
comedy, right? Like I'm
It's
not
a horror.
crazy.
This is a horror comedy. It's
See,
marketed as a
this
horror
to
comedy.
me is where like campy can maybe make it good. Like if it's
If
like
it says
this
it's a
is a
comedy.
horror comedy. Again with Megan, I think this was a horror that was memed, not a horror comedy. But
Yeah, I get that.
we'll see.
We got another trailer for Gran Turismo, which doesn't interest me at all. However, it is directed by the same guy who did Chappie, District 9. I do actually like District 9. I think District 9 is a good film. Did anyone get a chance to watch this? I've got really no interest in this one at all, to be honest.
Did anyone play the games?
I played the games when I was younger.
I've never played them. I saw like movie man. He like posted a video and like he was big on it because he played the games as a kid, but I've never played them. So
Yeah. On to a more.
it doesn't interest me, to be honest.
I'll tell you what does interest me though. Evil Dead Rise. That's so crazy. Even the poster, when I first saw the poster, I was like,
It actually the poster
Poster-
is actually really good.
The poster
I
is
like the
so
poster.
sick.
Yeah,
I
the
really like
poster
it. I
is
think the
good.
poster looks great. It just looks, the shot in the trailer through the peephole kind of thing.
Yeah.
It looks quite scary. So I'll hope for the best for it. Obviously, horror's a bit of a weird one at the minute, but I'm excited for this anyway. Jonah Hill's You People. Did anyone get a chance to watch this?
Wait, time out. I'm going.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going back to Evil Dead. Is this like the Evil Dead, the Sam Raimi version, or I didn't even know this was.
It's within the same franchise. It's not.
Yeah,
It's a
but
is remake, soft reboot kind of thing.
Is this like a sequel to the 2013
13.
Evil Dead? Did you
I
guys
don't-
see that?
Is it a sequel? Is it a
I
direct
think
sequel?
it's.
I didn't even know they made.
Have you seen that yet, George?
2013.
I still haven't seen it now.
Yeah, I think you'll like that, but it's obviously
Yeah.
within the same. It's within
Like
the
I
same.
know people like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. I didn't know they made a remake in 2013.
The 2013
I can't
was
imagine
surprisingly
people like
well
that.
received. No, it's
Really?
quite well. It's
Show
got
some
like a
respect to
3.4 or
Army of
something.
Darkness.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, show some
Wait,
respect to
what?
Army of Darkness.
What?
Those
You
are
just said
the-
evil. You said Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. You glossed over Army of Darkness. The third movie.
I didn't. Sorry.
Trilogy.
I've never seen any of
Okay.
them. So
You,
like,
I
yeah.
don't even think you'd hate the original one. That's or Evil
okay,
Dead 2.
Maybe I'll
super
watch
fun.
it sometime. Maybe I'll
Evil
watch
Dead
it
2.
sometime.
Evil
But
Dead 2 is
We
delicious.
can go past that. I just never knew there was a 2013 Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually okay.
Because this
but-
isn't Sam Raimi, right? It's not Sam Raimi. Is he a producer of any kind?
I think he was definitely a
Gotta be
producer
a
on
producer,
Evil
right?
Dead, like the
On
2013
2013
remake.
one.
I don't know about this one.
I was just looking at it. Doesn't matter. We can move on.
We got the new trailer for You People, which obviously stars Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill. Did anyone get a chance to watch this?
I just watched this during Tyler's Old Way review. So
Is that
that's
what
why
you were staring at?
Yeah.
I was wondering that.
I was
You
watching
were just
that, so-
looking up. Yeah.
I thought you were
Um,
frozen for a second. I
no,
was like,
I
what
was
is he
watching-
reading right now?
It kind of made me laugh a couple times. It looked funny. Not like
Jonah
out
Hill
loud
is
laugh,
just
I guess.
so interesting because I feel like he like keeps going back and forth between wanting to go down like the art house route and then coming
Drama
back to just
art
doing
house.
stupid comedies as like the Hollywood fat guy. Like it's so.
It's like he's got to
interesting,
bankroll
like,
his
like,
directorial movies. He's like, all right, I got to do
Yeah.
the stupid comedy,
Yeah,
get some money for stunts too.
God, he's so funny too. He's so
He
funny.
is funny. He is
He's
funny.
funny.
Jonah Hill. It looks fine. I don't know. I laughed a couple times, I just watched the trailer. Maybe not laugh. Don't quote
You
me
didn't
on
laugh.
that. Yeah, but I was
You
like
didn't
in my
laugh.
head laughing. Yeah, you ever get that?
You had a very movies and stuff 14 trailer reaction. There.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, that was funny. I don't know. I'll probably go see it. It looks okay. Is that this year?
Yeah, it is this year.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's a Netflix release, so it'll be easy to watch. Netflix could, it could be just a stinker if it's on Netflix, but who knows?
Probably will be. We got a trailer. I won't talk this one too much, but we got a trailer for a new horror film called Sick. It's like a COVID-inspired film. Like, just stop.
I don't even want to talk about this.
Even in in Glass Onion, I'm just sick of seeing it. No one cares. Just stop. I don't care. I'm not watching it.
I think this is one of the big things that like everyone is kind of like, hey, that sucked. It's not even like a, something to make an in memory of. Like, I feel like, there's Pearl Harbor movies. There's like 9/11 movies. There's like movies of tragic events. COVID was a tragic event. Yeah. But it's like more, so everyone wants it sucked. And it was, no one wants to go back to it. Like,
why do we want to remember that?
Yeah.
We don't want to remember that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to go back to other tragic events, but you can make a movie about them and make it interesting and maybe inform people on it. But like, no one wants to know about COVID. We all know about it. It sucked.
It happens to everyone.
This is a Peacock release, which them was a Peacock release. Their last original horror movie, and it was not very good. Peacock's big on like, hey, we're gonna take like a woke subject and make a horror movie on it for some reason. That's like, that kind of seems their thing. Which I always say, them, good job representing people. That's all you had. That's it.
The bad film.
That's all you got. Yeah.
We'll move on to the movie news, and the big one we got this week was that Paul Mescal has been cast to play the lead in the Gladiator sequel. So he's going to be playing Lucius, which is, of course, the son of Lucilla, which is, I think, we didn't get specific years after, it just says many years after the final events of the original film. So firstly, I wanted to ask you all, is we don't need any films. I think it's a bit weird one to say, like, we didn't need this, but did we want this? Should be the question I'm asking. Did we want a Gladiator sequel? I'm not. It's not something I was looking for. It did surprise me, but I'm not against it because Ridley Scott is set to direct it, which obviously makes a big difference because he directed the original. But Cam, what are your thoughts?
That is so much bigger for me. Like, if the director's coming back for the Legacy sequel,
I completely agree.
Ridley Scott, if he's coming back and he's like, hey, I've got an idea to make this movie really good, I can get on board with that. I think someone commented on our tweet of this, or on a tweet of this or something, and was like, someone said in our Q&A session of movies we don't want to see a remake to.
Someone said
Gladiator. I think it was me, honestly.
But that was a remake, though, was it not?
Yeah, maybe a sequel's a little bit better. I'm all in on Paul Mescal. Awesome casting. I think I'm interested. I've only ever seen him in one movie, unless you guys can name a.
I haven't seen Normal People yet, and people are telling me to watch it.
I haven't seen that. But blew me away in After Sun. My best actor of the year. Definitely will not win, but just like, I'm all in. So if he can do an action movie, awesome. And like we said, Ridley Scott coming back adds a little bit of goodwill for me, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree.
Rather than some random person remaking it.
Although most people's argument for that is that he came back and did Alien Covenant they did a few years ago.
Yeah, he did.
Which I actually didn't. I've not watched that, and apparently most people say it's pretty bad, but it does kind of inject more trust in me that he's doing the sequel, I guess. George, Tyler, any thoughts on this?
I like that it's not like a direct sequel. Like, it's taking place like 20 years in the future when Paul Mescal's character is all grown up. So I'm interested to see how Ridley Scott's going to like progress this world. If it were a direct sequel, I don't know. I would have questioned it a little bit. I don't know where they could go with the story.
Like you're
directly
talking
after.
like a Russell Crowe direct sequel, like an old, like what do you mean a direct sequel?
Like just like this Gladiator 2 is going to take place like 25 years in the future.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, like a Gladiator 2 that takes place immediately after the events of
Yeah.
Gladiator 1. Like, see
I
this
think we
world.
can say spoilers now. To be fair,
Yeah, we're gonna spoil
Spoilers
Gladiator.
have got to be
yeah.
fair game at this point.
Oh, you're not entertained?
It's also sick that Paul Mescal beat out Timothy Chalamet.
So,
Have you seen the
Stellar.
news about that this morning? Well, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's. I don't know if it's like if it's Timothy Chalamet asking his agent to say this, but his agent said that basically he hasn't auditioned for anything in like 7 years.
yeah,
And people
his
are
agent
people are
was
memeing this so much.
His
Yeah.
agent was such a like. This is something like Timothy Chalamet would have never replied to, and it's his agent trying to get like, "Hey, Timothy Chalamet, this dude's
This is
sick.
Timothy Chalamet.
This is. Have you fucking heard of this guy? You think this guy auditions? Yeah, it was such like a stupid tweet from a classic.
Do you believe it? Do you think he actually didn't audition? Because
Probably. I don't
It
know.
doesn't- it
He
doesn't
probably
fit me
didn't.
as
I
it's
feel like
stupid.
some people. Did you
I
see
like-
my tweet?
that's what I was gonna say. I liked your tweet. That was funny.
Yeah, thank you. It was, and then someone also got
Well,
mad
like,
at me about
so-
how people can transform their bodies.
Yeah.
But
The full tweet was like, Timothy Chalamet did an audition for this. I don't know if you've heard, but he's been in the Middle East for the past 7 months filming something called like
7
Dune
months,
2.
yeah.
So like, there's no
Yeah.
way he would have auditioned. And then he hasn't auditioned in 7 years. So like, I agree with what Cam said. Like, no way Timothy Chalamet would ever say something like this. It's just his
This
agent.
is Timothy Chalamet.
yeah, he
Yeah.
would have seen this tweet and been like, even if he didn't audition, be like, sure, great. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care. This dude's about to make so much money from Dune 2. Like, you think he gives a fuck?
Yeah. And
Do you guys
Wonka
think any of
and-
the other candidates? Because Richard Madden was a weird one. He's like in his late 30s. He would have not.
He
worked.
looks good though, man. He's a
Yeah,
good
he
looking
is
guy.
a good
He's a
looking
good.
No.
He kind of strikes me as a gladiator.
He
fella.
does, but if it is like 20 years after, say the kid was like, I don't know, like 8, 9, something like that, I think he looks too old, Richard Madden.
Do you
for
think
this
he
role.
can? Do you think maybe? Do you think you could mask the accent? He's got a thick accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could.
Uh,
Well, how good's the acting ability? That's literally
Yeah.
it, isn't it?
He's a good
I
actor.
don't know.
He
I
is
can
a
totally-
I've never seen him try to.
I
mask
couldn't
his
picture Miles
his
Teller
accent.
doing it.
No, but I
Miles
can
Teller.
totally picture Miles Teller and Austin Butler auditioning, like wanting this role
Yeah.
badly.
I can't picture either
I
of
could
them to be.
see, like, I could picture Austin Butler trying to like just be like, I was Elvis. I need an everything right now. But he was also in the desert for the last 7 months.
Yeah.
If you didn't hear,
he can't audition.
he doesn't audition. You fucking idiots.
He's the king.
Disgusting film. I think Austin Butler would like. I could see him auditioning because I think he's trying to get in a lot of things. But
I
good
think
for
Miles
you,
Teller
Paul
wants to
Mescal.
officially be a front man because he's been second fit. Like he was a front man in Whiplash, but that was
Mm-hmm.
in the grand scheme of things like a lower budget, like more indie-ish film. Whereas like in Top Gun Maverick, he's a hot name, but he was still kind of like side character to Tom Cruise. I think I can totally picture him being like, now is finally the time I like seize a main role.
What about Spiderhead? Was it Spiderhead, George?
That was more Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like same
that
way
was
with
good.
Bleed,
He was
Bleed
front
for
man and
this. He was
fan-
front man.
Fan four stick.
Fan four stick.
Fan four stick.
I've seen that.
God, it's a
We'll
gross
continue.
movie.
Cool.
Gross.
Avatar: The Way of Water has now become profitable already. The 9th highest grossing film of all
Good.
time.
Good. You saw my
Good.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so my-
Tyler. If you tweet one more time about you being the
Oh
only
yeah.
guy,
Oh,
I
Oh my
literally
God.
backed you up.
Tyler is.
I
so
truly
much
don't remember
time.
Seth
James
saying
Cameron's
that.
I
ass.
backed you up so many times on this. I said I think he will easily make
I
2
think
billion.
it's actually.
And I quote
so
Cam saying 1.4 billion isn't a bad like
It's not.
yeah, and he's gonna double that.
But it's,
This is only week
actually,
3.
It actually just passed 1.7 billion, which would make it the 7th highest grossing of all time.
already.
Yeah.
Wow.
The thing is with Avatar is that Americans are so centric about themselves. The people are
Yeah.
like, how is it, guys? America's not the only country. Every other country cares about this movie more than any other movie that's ever came out in history. History.
That's true, and that's my bad. I admit it. I said, "Hey, I'm man enough to say this is my bad." I still think James Cameron's a jackass.
I think everyone should think
And
he's
then-
a jack.
And then I just saw your tweet, Tyler, about like Martin Scorsese saying something about
100% valid and true.
I'm not mad about James Cameron saying anything about Marvel. I just think other James Cameron quotes is that he's a jackass.
Yeah, but I think Martin Scorsese has to be in the same light. If you say that,
no, because I don't think James Cameron's a jackass because of any Marvel comments. I think it's okay if they like don't. Like
no, because James Cameron says things about himself.
About himself, yeah. He's like Martin Scorsese is just like I don't really like MCU.
He's just an old man.
James Cameron is more like I'm better than MCU movies.
He thinks he's like the best.
I don't know. I still think he's a jackass. I've said it time and time again. He's an incredible director. I'm a big Aliens guy. I think it's better than Alien, and I'm a big T2 guy. I think it's better than Terminator, even though he did Terminator. So like, doesn't really matter. But like, I think he's a great director. He's a jackass.
Where do we think this is going to end? Like, how high do we think Avatar: Way of Water is going to
go?
2.3,
somewhere around.
I'm just saying.
Now it is slowing down a bit. Down being.
Did you see it went up on week 3? That's like, I know it was Christmas and New Year, but that's so rare.
I don't think it'll pass Endgame. It won't get 3 billion, and I think like.
Well, nothing's gotten 3 billion.
I don't know. Well, 3 billion is what would be.
Wait, what did Endgame get?
2.7, 2.797, so
maybe
2.8.
It depends because I feel like Top Gun Maverick was in theater for so long, and this is only 3 weeks of Avatar: The Way of Water.
Avatar will stay in. Yeah, that's true. Avatar will stay in.
If Avatar even has the slightest chance of sniffing that #1 spot, James Cameron's going to re-release this movie once a year until it passes Endgame.
I think they will really.
I do think I think it's steady, right? So I think it'll get to 2.1 ish, and then start fizzling out ish, and then make 200 more million, which again is still
I think it
numbers,
will.
But
I think
now that I have a little more clarity, and I'm not letting James Cameron's jackassery like cloud my judgment, I do think like 2.3 is a fair number.
Do
you have the highest grossing movies list in front of you?
Yeah.
Where's No Way Home?
1.9.
Did that make that much?
So it'll for sure pass that within like.
No, yeah, it'll pass 1. So I think so. 2.3 would put it at the 3rd highest grossing of all time. 2.3 to 2.8 or 2.3 to 2.75 will put it at the 3rd highest grossing of all. Yeah, it's the More Fun Stuff version.
Oh yeah, that.
No, but does that?
I don't think anyone went and saw that though.
Yeah,
like Avatar and
Endgame.
Endgame both had like a lot of people go and see it. I don't think anyone went and saw the More Fun version.
So what's the 4th highest? Because the top 3 have all had re-releases. Top Gun Maverick also had a re-release.
No, so it's Avatar, Endgame, Titanic are the top 3.
Why don't we save
Star Wars: The Force Awakens?
Why don't we save all the films until the
game draft?
Yeah, okay,
but
that's fine.
One question about box office though: do we think anything's ever going to top, like for adjusted for inflation, top Gone with the Wind? Because that's at like 3.5 billion. With inflation. I know on Wikipedia, if you're on that cam, there's like 2 tabs you can do with inflation, without inflation. And Gone with the Wind's like the clear #1 for with inflation.
Yeah,
I feel like
don't think anyone is touching that.
Yeah.
Not for a long time anyway. I don't see that.
It's just absurd, especially with like just kind of where the like economy is now. And the US isn't the only thing, but it kind of gives a little idea of how the economy is across the world, and no shot anything gets adjusted lifetime.
So we got in talks for the new Bond is Aaron Taylor Johnson. I really like this. I didn't. Do you know when we were speaking about it? I think we were speaking on a podcast like whatever a few weeks ago, whatever. I didn't actually mention his name, but then when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I think this is a really good. He's in talks to be anyway.
I feel like no one brought his name up. Which is interesting because it kind of fits.
It was
really
the same
well.
names. It was like Idris Elba, Henry Cavill, a few other guys, but Chris Hemsworth maybe.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy was on there. Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, the age, very good looking man.
It's kind of it's so dumb. It's brilliant. Like
how did no one think of this?
Because it was Bullet Train. He had never played like a character that had to wear a suit and like look suave, and then Bullet Train comes out and
he did look suave.
God, he looked good on that fucking train.
The beard, man.
And that's when everyone was like, well, shit, like he could be a genuine contender. Richard Madden was a lot of people's like #1 pick too. He was always floating around in like those fan casts I saw on TikTok, but no one dropped Aaron Taylor Johnson's name until after Bullet Train.
It's very surprising. I think it works really, really well.
I think it would work.
So one criticism people have about Aaron Taylor Johnson is they're like, oh, it's going to box him in creatively for the next 10 years, but where's this coming from? Like Daniel Craig got the girl with the dragon tattoo, Knives Out, plenty of movies while he was Bond.
I more so don't want him, like, it doesn't box him in, but God, he's going to have to deal with the 007 fans. And
you have to understand from an actor's perspective, James Bond and Batman are the pinnacle of that. Everyone wants those two roles. It does not matter what you think it's gonna do to your career. You're taking those roles.
Mm-hmm. I think it depends on what position your career is in, though. Because Idris Elba obviously declined it because he didn't feel like he needed it.
But you also have to.
He's also old. I feel. He's what 4 years younger. Than
but he did decline
Daniel Craig.
I think he was like in talks at one point, and then
I'm sure. Yeah, but whoever is cast as James Bond, you have to at least think that they need to be able to play Bond at a high physical level. For 10 to 15 years. So Idris Elba is what, pushing 60?
No.
How old is he?
He's like
not
54.
45.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
So still.
He's 50. So split you and I, Seth. He's 50.
Okay.
So he's like...
Yeah, I understand your point. I would just say...
Like, it's doable, but like Daniel Craig was playing this character for 16 years. Imagine Idris Elba at 66 years old filming his final James Bond movie.
He'll still look about 30 anyway.
Yeah.
Old, so
my next question is, have you guys seen every James Bond, or at least...
I've seen like 2 of them.
I've seen every Daniel Craig, and I've seen none of any other.
I've seen 2 of Daniel Craig's ones. Craig. Wow.
Craig. Yeah. Well, I've seen every Daniel Craig, and then I haven't seen any like outside.
I've seen some of the.
So I'm not the best person to ask this, and I guess none of us are the best person to ask this. But does it get like they're all relatively the same age when they start, and now Aaron Taylor Johnson is in there. We'll say like 30 to 35-ish, I assume.
Wasn't Pierce Brosnan a bit older than that? Was he?
Was it? I don't know.
I feel like
I'm a bad person. I mean, I've seen pictures of him as Bond, and I kind of assume he's around that 30 to 35-ish, and I just feel like, are we just rehashing the same Bond? Like Idris Elba may have been able to give a little bit different, but you can't do 6-7 movies with Idris Elba, which I think is their goal. How many did Daniel Craig do? He did 5. Yeah, you'd probably want 5-6 movies out of this guy, and you're making them every, we'll say, 3 years. It's tough to do. Maybe the last 2 will come out pretty quick after, but I don't know. That's tough to do. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson has a good is in that good range. I would have loved to see like maybe not a white guy get cast, just to piss off all of the like people that were mad online. That always
Patel would have been sick.
Who? Dev Patel?
Dev Patel, because he was about the age of early 30s.
Yeah, I think he could be a sick Bond.
Yeah, Dev Patel.
Either way,
I also think Daniel Kaluuya could pull it off.
I don't see why not.
Yeah,
I
think he can pull off a whole lot.
Has
he done action?
I don't think he would ever. I don't think he
Black
would
Panther. He doesn't.
All I can picture him in or that role is when he's in Sicario, where he was kind of like a bitch, like person in charge. So that's why I'm like, for me with Bond, I'm like, oh, he's kind of a bitch in Sicario though.
I don't think he would do it, even if he was offered it. I don't think.
I don't think he would. He's not a franchise guy, and I think
he's so
like.
Big now.
I think he said he would do Black Panther. Like obviously, I'm sure he's friends with like Ryan Coogler and everyone. But then he was kind of like, I don't know if I really want to come back for the second. He said it was scheduling conflicts, but I'm gonna guess he didn't really want to come back. To be honest, I don't think he's a franchise guy.
He's to the level of just a huge actor now, isn't he? He's like the face of thing.
He drives money for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a Cam news. A sequel to The Nun releases this year.
Yeah,
big fan of this. Cam.
I don't know why you threw this in as if like it's not. I think you threw it in to piss me off, but like we knew this was happening. This sucks.
I just want to.
We also just don't care about it.
I just like to continue to let you know about it. You are going to see it, aren't you? You'll have
I might. Your tweet, Tyler, was pretty funny. Of like it's starting to film, and it was like, please do not tag Cam Walsh in it. And then no one tagged me in it except Seth. And then I don't remember if it was someone tagged. Yeah, it got a lot of likes, and so I get those notifications. It was funny, but someone tweeted it at me the other day and was like something, and then I replied and was like, great, nice, you ruined my night. Is this what makes you feel better? good job for you, ruining my night or something, just to be a dick.
What
But
just sucks
it-
about this though is that Cam, like, you're gonna have to sit through trailers for months before
know.
Then
movies.
you're gonna
I
have
don't
to
go-
watch it.
I don't go to enough horror movies. I
Well,
feel
even like an
like.
R-rated movie has a chance to have a horror
Yeah, that's true,
trailer.
that's
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
I don't know.
We'll continue. I just wanted to
I'll
throw it in
probably
there.
see it. Emma likes the Conjuring universe, but she thought The Nun was pretty shit.
I think everyone thought The Nun was pretty shit. It was a
Yeah,
bad film.
we'll see.
We'll continue. M3GAN is projected to earn 27 million in the opening weekend.
30.
I don't know if you guys saw that he actually made pretty much the budget back of 12 million in the opening day.
Mhm.
These horror films, we've spoken about this before, they just print money. It's ridiculous how much they've
And
made.
now this is going to be the next horror franchise that gets milked for the next 25 years.
No doubt in
It's
my mind.
already Chucky though. Like
Yeah.
I
the
just
same thing.
the thing that's
Do
interesting though is that,
you like Chucky movies? Eddie?
Wasn't
I think they're
Chucky
bad.
I think
just made like
Into a TV show.
no,
Just,
not even that. Like he was Buddy, right? Electronical.
Yeah.
Or
He was just-
electronical. What the fuck? Bionicle talking.
Yeah.
About.
But
Electronic Buddy.
Chucky wasn't made as like a M3GAN, where like M3GAN like
Yeah, I've
just
never seen
gained
it.
a bunch
Chucky
of
was made
information.
before all this. Like, there was
Yeah. No, I'm saying
Mm.
Chucky was like, he didn't evolve into a killer. He was just always a killer. Whereas
He's a possessed
M3GAN,
doll, right?
yeah, he's a possessed doll. Whereas
Okay.
M3GAN was kind of like, okay, she's a genuine friend of this young girl, and
Me-
just turns bad because of the amount of information that she's been processing.
Yeah, Megan has the Ultron moment where she's like, humans kill humans all the time.
Literally.
Is like
Mhm.
Literally.
evolve, and it's like,
I didn't
yeah.
even think of Ultron, but
Yeah,
yes, you're
yeah.
so
M3GAN
right there.
is Ultron. Just
M3GAN
based-
is Ultron.
It's action versus horror.
I
But-
saw a funny tweet. Someone said when M3GAN 3 comes out, the person that made the title for M3GAN 1 is going to say, "Oh fuck."
yeah.
Tyler asked about that.
wasn't
Oh,
Tyler?
they explain.
They explain it.
They explain Megan. It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
okay.
It's Model
3
3
generational.
animatronic something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
Megan
Yeah.
for short.
But
I'm
the,
gonna
M-
be-
the M3 is Model 3.
Mhm.
I'll be interested to see what the break-even point of this is, because I think a lot of people became quote-unquote box office experts with Avatar and Babylon. Everyone's just talking about box office nowadays. And so the budget for like an MCU film is like 250 million normally, but the break-even point is normally around 750, because a good rule of thumb for like a blockbuster is about double the budget is going to go to marketing. So that's why Black Panther Wakanda Forever, people were saying it might not even break even you're like, this movie made like 800 million. But that's because it's actually like 750 because you double it for the marketing budget. So for
People
this,
take the budget on face value a lot. Though,
right,
and then
but it
that's-
doesn't include marketing budget, which is what M3GAN. So it's already doubled what that listed budget is. But I feel like this marketing budget had to be super high, like 4 or 5 times 12 million.
I don't know. You know,
I feel like I saw it everywhere, like
Yeah,
commercials
Yeah,
and
but I think
trailers.
you guys. I think we saw it from other people posting about.
I
it.
agree.
man.
probably,
Like,
yeah.
I agree.
and
But like
I
Straw
gotta-
Hat Goofy was at like the Chargers game with all
Yeah,
the
I gotta
M3GANs, and then
assume,
M3GANs were
like,
they were all
Yeah,
at
but
the
how much
Empire
does that
State
cost?
Building.
Like
Yeah, that's
realistically,
fair.
what was the
exactly.
fee
Like
into
they
it?
didn't post
pay-
any. They didn't post any
They-
ads of them at the
Yeah,
Chargers game.
people just
Straw
recorded
Hat
it.
was like recording.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like Smile. People
True.
recorded them at the game, at the baseball game.
Yeah.
And stuff.
All
It's
they have
just
to
a-
pay for is a booth, and then they send their actors
Right.
of like
And
Megan actors.
One
you know?
comment on that, like again, I love Straw Hat, and this is like not anything negative towards him at all, but I was watching his TikTok of him with all the M3GANs, and like the top comment is, "This is so great. They should be paying you for this." And it's like, they're paying him for it. Sorry to pull the
Yeah,
curtain
yeah.
back from
Yeah.
you. They're paying him
Like they
5
are.
figures for it, guaranteed. 5 figures.
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
fine. Good for
Well,
him.
I've got like 5 pieces of news left, pretty much, but just stop me if you want to go over anything in particular. Tim Blake Nelson's been cast in Dune 2. The Batman was the most watched film on Letterboxd, half of the viewings from George in 2022.
That was a funny
They-
tweet, Tyler.
Nerd news: Dave Bautista confirms Guardians 3 will be his final MCU movie. I think a few of us spoke about this before. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we basically knew this anyway because he wants to obviously
Yeah.
do more dramatic roles and stuff, which is fair enough. Good for him. I don't
He's
know
a-
what this is, but Marvel Comics announces Guardians of the Galaxy, a new ongoing series. Does anyone know much about
That's
this?
that's a graphic novel series. That's
I
not
was
like
gonna
that's
say,
what- yeah, I was gonna say, I
did
thought
you
that.
put that? I was I thought you put that in, and I was like shocked you cared about that. But
I
Yeah,
did
no,
put
that-
that in.
It's a graphic novel
Cool.
series, not a TV show.
not.
I,
Yeah,
I didn't
cool.
want to bias against the comic book guys. I just
That's
wanted-
fair. No,
You know
I
it.
appreciate that. Yeah, no.
And then obviously
Books.
Nicolas Cage not returning in Across the Spider-Verse as Noir Spider-Man. I didn't know. Did we already know this, or is this?
I don't
like,
think
new?
so. I just think
He
no
wasn't
one
in
cared.
it. He wasn't in any of the trailers,
Yeah.
so I think it was like even if he was in it, it wouldn't be a big role. It's also not something I'm losing sleep over. He was very funny in the first Spider-Verse, but
I'm hearing some people say like it's like an Andrew Garfield attempt by him, but then why would that strum up that much hype? Like,
right.
That's
Like
not. It's not like
it's not like the noir Spider-Man's gonna be walking out of a portal and people are,
yeah. It's
it would more so be like that was cool.
That'd be kind of a funny
that's
meta
it.
moment though, like if they're like clowning how like that was such a big thing in Spider-Man No Way Home.
It would
But,
be pretty funny if they had like a portals moment. as
But
like a meme.
going back to Dave Bautista, so he's like been very vocal about wanting to go to more dramatic roles, which seeing the extended trailer for Knock at the Cabin looks like right up the alley of like him really tapping into that. Would you call a Glass Onion a more dramatic role for him?
no.
No.
Okay,
No,
because I was
he's good
wondering,
in,
like, because I didn't
Blade
want to be
Runner.
like a hater because I didn't like Glass Onion, but like that was equal level of corny to a Drax role, and plus like spoiler alert for Glass Onion, he's not in the movie that long, so I wouldn't. Really call
How
it.
is he in Dune?
He's good.
He's
really
very
good.
minimal screen time, but
He's
he's
not.
very
He was good.
Yeah,
at the
but
5
he's also
minutes
not
of
dramatic in.
No.
He's not dramatic per se in Dune or
He
in
is in
Blade
Blade
Runner.
I was.
Or you think he's dramatic? Like
Yeah,
he has
he's
like 5 minutes of like a serious.
yeah, I
scene
guess.
at the
Yeah,
start.
I'm more so like I kind of see it as like brooding almost, where he's like, but he's like dramatic brooding. I don't know.
I think the real
I
test
see-
will be Knock at the Cabin because from the trailers it really seems like he's gonna get a lot of screen time, a lot of dialogue, a lot of seriousness. So that this would really be because I've seen a lot of TikToks of who's the best wrestler turned actor. Batista, I don't even think we've seen enough. of
hot
him,
take.
really.
I think John Cena is better than both of them.
No. Dave Bautista's the best.
I don't think we've seen enough Batista. to
The
make that
Rock.
call.
I don't think we've seen enough John Cena.
I don't think we've seen enough of either of them.
The only one we've seen enough of is The Rock. Who's clearly
It's
last.
not number one.
No,
but
The Rock is not
like
number
we
one.
all know it. Everyone knows
don't-
it, and it's not a hot take.
Yeah,
but
no, The Rock is not number one.
Back to the bat. I'm diverting the conversation, but I'm surprised the Batman was the most watched film on Letterboxd in 2022. I truly thought it was going to be Top Gun Maverick because I think, obviously, I'm in the minority. I think the Batman's replay value is very high, but I know a lot of people don't agree with that because of its 3-hour runtime.
I think that it
the-
wouldn't have been Top Gun Maverick because I know it's been watched by like everyone, but there will be people who won't watched it who aren't in the movie place who haven't watched the first one, and they'll be like, "It's a sequel. I haven't watched the first one. I'm not going to watch this one."
Well, I think the big
Like,
thing is
that
Top Gun
might as well
Maverick
be
was
true.
released on Paramount Plus like 2 weeks ago. The Batman was on HBO Max in like March.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's fair.
Fair enough.
That-
Okay,
nothing else from me.
cool. Wednesday renewed for a second season, expected, and then 1899 cancelled after one season. I know none of us watched it, but it did get pretty good reviews. Obviously, it was the same makers as Dark, which is incredibly highly regarded. Netflix are just cancelling a lot of projects at the moment because of their algorithm and stuff like that. They do seem to cancel.
Did anyone
Quite a
watch
lot.
Chris's video? I know it did well. I didn't.
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't
watch it. Sorry,
I didn't
Chris.
Which one?
watch it.
He made a
Oh,
video
did
on
he
like
do a video
why
on it?
why Netflix cancels so many projects. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't watch it, but
Oh,
I
so
saw.
none
it.
of us has
Shut
a
up,
summary of
Chris.
what it is.
Yeah, no,
I
sorry.
didn't watch it.
Well, so the thing I'm worried about is that it's so I know like I tweeted this and people were like, no, Wednesday was actually good, which I haven't watched it. I can't comment, but I do know Wednesday was memed to shit and became the most viewed show of all time, not purely from its quality. It's not the best thing Netflix has ever done. Haven't even seen it, but I can confidently say that. And I'm just worried that they're going to go for things that are like memes and dances, which is what I'm already seeing with like horror movies, because Smile's marketing was great and everyone loves Smile's marketing. And now Megan's doing it and like doing the viral in the streets type marketing, which is cool to see. I love these creative outlets for marketing. But Smile, you guys did not like. Megan, we are not liking.
No, George.
Is
liked
this
it.
just going to be the new thing that people are going to just put all this,
I think-
all their thoughts are going to be about the marketing,
But
and how to
I
make this
think-
viral and hype, and then they're just not going to care about the project.
I don't. This isn't. This is just
it's
cinema
funny.
as a whole, and this is just everyone. We need to kind of realize that it is a business. They're not doing this for the art they're producing a lot of the time. They're doing this for what makes the most money.
Like
so
we
this is kind of what we're going down now, isn't
we
it?
said none of us have watched 1899. You did?
I watched it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you
so
did watch
George is.
Did you
George
like it?
Has already been.
I would have picked 1899 over Wednesday to like continue on to a season 2. And that's not saying Wednesday is bad. I just enjoyed the
Have you seen Dark?
Wednesday.
I haven't seen Dark.
Okay, because apparently
Wednesday
that's
was
amazing.
like the most watched show,
Yeah,
right?
ever.
So I don't know if it's necessarily memes per se, Tyler, but I think it's money. They made
I mean,
a
the
lot of money.
dance.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
that didn't like
Dance.
meme around until like a week after the
That's
show was
the,
released.
also
Yeah,
Jenna Ortega as well. Like
it's
that's
good
the
looking, and
effective.
people,
And
you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Burton-
she is a great actress. She is
Yeah.
rich, and she's done a lot of good roles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You have this much compiled into one, you're gonna.
I'm saying that's why the dance went around. People were like online
Oh, yeah,
horny.
Yeah.
for
And you have to
that.
understand
Understand the cult following that the Addams family and Tim Burton have. Like everyone in America
Tim
over
Burton,
the age
yeah.
of like 40 is watching Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it's more so money rather. Like you can't. I don't know if you can always justify a project like, hey, this is a lot better quality wise, but it, was watched by 5 people versus Wednesday, which was watched by everyone. Because I didn't even like 1899 was not talked about a lot, even outside of us. It was not talked about a lot on Twitter or on TikTok or
At all.
Instagram. Like, so it's less so like their marketing almost, I would say, and more so like the marketing that like the social media is doing for it.
We are the problem.
Yes,
We are.
exactly.
I mean, I
Besides-
watched it and I didn't even post a review about it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I
Yeah.
wonder if Kaleidoscope will get Kaleidoscope's been doing well, but I watched
Well, that's just been
Kaleidoscope.
doing
and
very well.
I didn't do a review on it because
Cam,
with
you
T-
should have watched. You did watch it.
Yeah, I watched it.
What did you think?
I liked it. It's not the best thing ever. And, all right. Well, so I made a fucking video.
I saw this. You deleted
spinning the
it,
wheel.
Yeah.
I put it on private because I was getting roasted in the comments that White has to go last. And then fucking Netflix tweeted, I just spit. That's how irate I'm getting. So sorry if you saw that. Netflix tweeted when the episode White not being watched last. And I was like, fuck you. God, everyone was like so mad that you have to watch White last. And you definitely should, or at least watch it before like what is it, Pink, which is like 26 weeks after or something. And fuck, that's a different rant. I was getting roasted.
Can I
and
just say
couldn't-
that I
couldn't
wish
handle
I'd have watched it. This was view bait.
Well,
Everyone.
my
got
problem
crazy
is I finished it like it came out on the 1st, and I think I finished it yesterday.
Yeah,
And so
get how
I don't
some people
watch shows quick enough. I
can't watch. I can't binge a show in a day.
Yeah, I don't.
Josiah Coops, shout out to him, smart, because his video that went viral, he didn't finish
over
it.
a
Like he
minute.
posted a week later, like saying he finished. Like he posted a video like, oh, I started with these 2, and then here's the order I'm gonna watch the rest of.
Here's the-
So he's
the order.
smart. He just watched like
he
2.
watched them all. He watched.
No,
them.
No,
he
he
didn't
did,
post
but his
it.
first video that got like 800,000 views, he didn't finish it when he made that
over a
video.
million.
Yeah.
Or over a million, yeah. So
Also-
smart.
Yeah.
I'm like well past the time in my life where I can just binge like 7 or 8 episodes.
That was
Like,
me when I was like
can't-
16. Like
It's
If I worked from home, maybe, but like,
Yeah,
you
but-
wouldn't be concentrating,
no.
though, would you? You wouldn't watch it all the time. Like you wouldn't be concentrating on it anyway.
I think it'd be
Yeah,
worse
that's
that I
also the
wouldn't be
thing, like-
concentrated on work.
Even
So-
so,
I think
yeah,
that
all
would be more the problem.
What is
I
it?
would
It's
just
8
think-
episodes. How long is each? 30, 40?
No, 45, and then
Oh,
there's
That's
shit.
like
how
a
How
do
the
fifty, like
hell?
a
Yeah.
I
50.
can't do
There's
that.
I
like
don't
a
get how people
50.
do that.
I need a
Um,
week. I need a
Dude,
week.
Chris's video, which we keep talking about him. So Chris, if you're watching this, good job.
Teach us your ways.
You're doing
Yes.
great this week. People
Broken
have,
the
This
algorithm.
week.
but his video came out like 8 hours after
Yeah.
the fucking show dropped,
Right.
man.
And he is a
I mean,
kid. He is a kid.
yeah, right. I have a kid. I don't understand how he's doing it. I
I know
can
he has.
watch-
He works
I can
full
watch
time as
one
well.
episode a night. You know, like
Maybe
no,
he's
this
Tyler.
is his job. This
He
is
has
his
more.
job.
He has more hours in the day.
Or he just
Maybe.
doesn't sleep.
No, he has a full time job.
I just could like
I watched The Pale Blue Eye while I was working, and I was getting so upset at how often I had to pause it. And that's just
Mhm.
1 2-hour movie. I can't even imagine how pissed off I would get if I had to keep pausing 8 episodes of television. I tried to binge season 4, part 1 of Stranger Things in 1 day,
Mhm.
and
I
I
mean,
just
Like
I think 6 came out at first.
Yeah.
I tried to do the House of the Dragon. It's just too much.
I just
Way
couldn't
too
do
much.
it. I was like, I love Stranger Things, but like I just can't sit in my bed and just watch.
I get
six
bored
episodes
after a while.
straight.
after like that much, I'm drained.
Mhm.
After like
I'm-
3
it's too much. It's too
I'm
much.
pretty confident, not to like talk about this guy's life too much. I'm pretty sure social media is his full-time job.
Has Chris
Um,
left? Because I know he had a full time job, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is his full-time
Shout out
job, man,
Chris, though.
which yeah, good for him. He deserves it.
Big
But
shout
it
out.
does make sense when people are able to watch something like
no, it makes
like
sense. And it's
if
also
this were my full-time job, I'd tell like Emma, I'd be like, hey, I gotta watch
Gotta
these
work,
shows.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
You know,
work.
Because the thing is, social media, the first person to get to a show or a film is going to do the most, and that's the aim of the game, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, it's a good way. But we'll transition over. We have our game of the week, which is a movie draft, of course. Today is going to be the top 5 movies that have made over $1 billion. And me and George were speaking about this earlier. There's like a couple of standouts, and then it's completely out of the way. Like this could be any 5. This is going to be very interesting to see the votes on this.
I think there are a lot. I think there are pretty good movies. Here,
I think there's like 3 or 4.
I think there's a chunk of good movies.
I'm a franchise guy though, so I like a lot of these.
I'm curious to see what you're gonna take at the 3.
I'm not a franchise guy, so I hate most of these. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, like even like Beauty and the Beast from 2017. Sorry to talk about it. Do you like that movie? Do you guys like it?
I haven't seen it.
I like it better.
I've only seen like, how many is there? 60.
Average.
It's 50. I have 50.
I think I've only seen like 40 of them. To be honest, I think I'm missing a few of them. To be fair, the Star Wars ones.
I like it better than the animated movie. So I'd say like I kind of like some of these a good amount. And I might fuck around and throw Minions on.
And congrats to George on ending Tyler's 4-game win streak.
Good job.
I'm never gonna win. I'm
out, man. I'm out.
No,
it's fun.
You podium.
I'm never gonna win.
Shout out the podium. I got to get back to my I've become too greedy. You know, now I'm just depressed because I don't get any top 2 at all. I just got to get back to my ways and get back on the podium. And
let's see where you go then.
So, the draft order is George, Tyler, Cam, and then me. Snake draft as usual. George, hit us with your first pick.
There is no doubt that this was going to be my first pick. That is the greatest comic book movie of all time, The Dark Knight.
Yep. That's the wrong first pick.
No.
I will say what I think Tyler is going to pick, I think, is a better movie than The Dark Knight, but I just wanted to pick my favorite movie ever.
Really? Tyler?
Yeah. Return of the King.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Fourth is bad on this one.
It's really not. I think there's
it is.
No.
I think I would love the 4th spot right now.
Yeah, no,
Really?
I totally
Oh,
see
no,
your
George.
problem is you don't like, so never mind. All right. 3rd pick, $1 billion club, 3rd pick, I'm taking Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that was mine.
Wow. I was really interested to see what he was going
George,
with
I know
there.
what you're thinking of the George film, aren't you?
No offense, Seth. I think I can get what I want.
Yeah, very true.
Wait, you're not thinking
For sure.
of what I
You
All
played
right,
it right.
all
You played it right there.
Go
Cam.
Seth.
Cam played it correctly.
Go Seth.
That Jurassic Park would have been mine.
Yep.
I know.
See, now I've got no standout.
I hold Jurassic Park higher than I do the other comic book movies that we're talking about, though.
I hold Jurassic Park at 5.
Yes.
Fair. I thought it was pure
But
strategy.
I have it like 98 versus 96.
I like
Something like
Cam.
that.
That was a very strategitic pick, and I just want to shout you out for that. Okay.
I'm trying to explain that it wasn't like.
Shut up.
super
We're giving you
strategic.
credit for a draft.
All right, that's fine.
Just let
I
me give you
appreciate it.
credit.
Thank you.
4 and 5.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go with. I'm not frozen. Sorry.
I know
I'm
you
gonna
were.
go-
I know you were.
I did not come prepared.
I
Felix-
did. They were just my 3. I'm gonna go with. Top Gun Maverick. That's what I'm going with. There's no other film I rate highly.
Dude, can you just start pandering to the audience? Stop with these.
This is why you're not winning.
Yeah, but
You
you
have
know
to
what? Yeah, I had a reply saying from a few people, Seth picks the best, but he doesn't pander. I'm fine with that. I'll pick
Seth,
the best.
I can
Although Top Gun
confidently,
Maverick is
What's
not
your
the
next
best.
pick? What's
I
your
can
next pick?
confidently say that is the worst pick in ReelTok draft history. That is
No,
the
it's
worst
not.
No,
pick.
that'll
No,
get
it's
votes,
not.
but not as much as what he should have picked.
In ReelTok
No,
draft.
that is not the worst pick.
What's your next
Seth-
pick?
Here we go.
Seth,
What's
what's
your
next?
5th pick, bro?
The worst pick was Cam picking La La Land for the saddest film. That was the worst pick.
Not at all.
The first pick.
Sad.
Does
ass
La La
movie.
Land not make you sad?
Oh my God! What's your 5th pick?
I
What's
need to
your
hear this
shitty
pick.
5th pick.
What's your next
can't
pick?
wait.
What's your next
I don't know. There's no film.
Are you
that I
not
like
looking
a lot.
at the top
Dude.
100?
No,
Top.
I've got it.
Okay.
There's no film that I like. Okay, I'm gonna go with.
Here we go. This should be good.
I'm gonna go with Deathly Hallows Part 2. I know what you want me to pick. But I'm not doing it. I don't rate this film that high, so I'm not doing it. I'm not picking
All right.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
man.
Seth has
Now
finished
I'm
last.
Now I'm honestly like,
I will pick what I like the best. I'm never gonna.
hey, I respect that opinion,
I respect
but to
it,
say
sure.
Deathly Hollows, no offense. Do you guys disagree? To the rest
It's
of you
not
to say
better than
Deathly
other
Hollows Part 2,
movies.
great movie. There's
Great,
a lot
really
higher
good.
than this. So,
Wait,
yeah.
what have I missed? Have I
Just-
missed
just
some
keep
obvious-
All
going.
right. So
This-
honestly, I don't know what I want here. I don't know what I want because I think I wish Seth picked
One of them.
one of these two movies,
Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah,
think
we
I'm
kn-
missing something big here.
Yeah, you're
I,
missing
th-
a lot. babe.
I think I wanted you to pick one of these two movies so I could take the other and I would have been happy. Because now I have to make a decision. One I hold higher.
I think it's
one
an easy
one I
decision.
think would get more picks or more votes. I'm gonna go with Infinity War.
That's the
Okay.
easy-
Damn it.
Okay.
Hate
I'm
you.
not gonna pick an MCU film. Am I?
Oh, God damn.
That would be no. In fairness, I do really like it, but that would be
Uh,
disingenuous of me to pick an MCU.
No, it wouldn't. Not if you really like say here.
but,
this
but
is
I
what
don't
I'd say.
like it as much as the other two.
As respectfully as possible, this draft is between me, Cam, and Tyler now.
But, okay,
well,
hear me
I-
out. Hear me out. To be fair, you have to respect me a little bit because I'm picking the films I like the most.
here's
So,
what I say.
I also
understand
just don't believe that you like Deathly Hollows Part 2 more than some of these other films on this
Infinity
list.
War.
No, not even just the MCU movies. I just don't buy
I
it.
Here's
like
what
it.
I'll
I
say,
really
Seth.
like it. I got a 4.5.
Seth, I respect that you're not pandering. That being said, I just picked a movie. There's a movie on this list that I hold higher than that's still available that I hold higher than Infinity War and
Really?
yes, but what I'm doing is picking a movie I absolutely love, a 5 out of 5.
I think I'm
But
missing
will
something.
also get votes. And I think you could have done that to say, I really like Infinity War. I'm going to pick it because it's a good movie and I'll get votes.
But I like Death
no
Hallows
offense,
more.
no offense. I think Deathly Hollows will get back to you, man. I think it'll swipe back to you. But
I like Death Hallows. I
Tyler,
think I'm missing. If you've got something higher than that, I'm missing something.
You could have grabbed Deathly Hollows in the 4th or 5th round. I'm confident.
I
about
like
that.
Death Hallows. I will never.
I
Maybe not.
like it too. I like
Alright.
it too.
All right,
It's a
I'm
4
picking-
out of
Tyler.
5.
I'm
Second
picking
pick.
Avengers Endgame, handing George a perfect 1-2 combo for his next pick.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
Maybe
Whoa,
not. I don't know. Never mind.
Whoa,
Alright.
No, I mean like to
now-
pair with your first pick.
I assume you're gonna say Joker because that's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna go for.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's
but
what I'm saying. Like if you had Dark Knight
Joker.
and Joker, that's a great 1-2 pairing.
You're right. And then I'm just gonna keep the comic book string going. This is a lower rated comic book movie for me, but it's gonna get me a shit ton of votes, I think, and that's gonna be Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah, that was my next pick
So
for
what
sure.
was the obvious one?
Just what? Endgame and Infinity War.
Everything we said.
Why would I pick that?
Seth,
Again.
don't you dare complain next week
You
when you
have-
finish
no,
last
wait,
week.
wait,
No,
for
to
some
be
you
fair, I
have-
didn't complain at the start though. I said that I'll just stick to it.
I'm sorry.
why
I'm
would I
sorry
pick-
to take away from Tyler's picks. Seth, do you have Deathly Hollows at a 4.5?
Yeah.
And you have Infinity War at a 4.5?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's the highest one. No, but but this is the thing,
I get
though.
it. I get it. You prefer Deathly Hollows, but
I
I
don't
think
know.
you
This
could
is
have
like a
made the.
wild
I
thing.
think you
I
could have
would've
made the
picked the film-
decision to pick like a movie you hold really highly, but also will get you votes.
But I
That's
don't
what I
get
thought
that.
you would.
Why
All right.
though? 'Cause I just
don't.
like.
I don't know.
I love
okay,
Harry
that's fine.
Potter.
That's fine.
I'm
That's
picking
fine.
it.
That's fine. I'm out.
Tyler, third
Tyler,
pick.
what's
Tyler?
I'll go with the Avengers.
Yep,
Fuck
fair.
yes. All right, so I got the movie I wanted, and that's Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3, you guys may not hold it very highly. I think it's one of the best.
Oh, no,
Great movie.
I
Great
didn't have
movie.
that. I have that at 4.5.
I definitely hold that highly.
Yeah, I think that's the best Toy Story, one of the best animated.
Here we go.
There.
Seth's about to have an aneurysm. Bro's got 2 picks. He's probably sweating.
Also, Seth, George, shout out you. I'm using your list right now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I'm
I
using
think
your
I missed
$1 billion
some.
list. So you
I
could look
actually,
that up.
yeah, I actually made that list a while ago, and I recently just added Top Gun Maverick and Avatar to it.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna steal it and make my own. Thanks.
That's okay. Go for it. Seth,
You
3 and
might
4.
Okay, now I'm struggling.
Now
I'm
you're
gonna-
struggling.
I'm not gonna. I thought I would be getting Top Gun Maverick around here,
Yeah.
so I'm struggling a little. I'm kind of with you. I thought I would be around here.
You're not gonna like it, but it's something.
Here we go.
I'm gonna go Avatar: The Way of Water.
Of course you are.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It was going to be
I
picked
don't
by me
hate
later.
the pick for what's left. Now I think we're getting.
Now it
out
gets
of,
tricky. Like now there's a lot of
Yeah.
crap left.
You
Some
think
good
so?
stuff.
I wouldn't.
I
no,
think
no, no,
there's
I-
another movie that's really, really good.
Yeah, I think there are a few.
The highest rated in a franchise, in my opinion. Seth, you're up though.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Wait, that's not the
Franchise.
highest in the franchise. Wow.
Seth, you're up. Just pick
Oh,
your
no.
range.
interesting. Now we're kind of throwing us off.
Ooh. I think I'm having a great draft, and guess what? I can't wait to podium next week. I'm not going to get first, but I can't wait to podium.
Well, I'm curious to see what you're thinking of right now.
I'm hoping
Again.
Seth doesn't.
I'm gonna go with what I like the best.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go with Dead Man's Chest.
Okay. Cam, I think I know what you're gonna pick, and I think it's a bonkers move to say this is the best.
I have
franchise.
no idea what he's going to pick because there's nothing.
I'm taking, in my opinion, the best James.
Wow, no
James Bond
way.
movie. I'm taking Skyfall.
Over Casino Royale.
I knew that's what you were
I
thinking.
think it's better than. I think it's better than Casino Royale.
I really didn't think that's what you were thinking. Wow, that's so.
Right.
I mean, I don't hate it. I think Skyfall is the second best.
Yeah, you have it at 11. It's just outside your
Yeah.
top 10.
You're absolutely right.
I'm taking Skyfall. I think it's better than Casino Royale.
That's so
I think it's a 94 to a 93 though
interesting.
on my ratings.
All right, Tyler.
I don't want to
No,
do
95.
this.
So it's a 5-star.
See, I don't want to do this based on my other picks, but there's such a gap between in my like actual rankings of movies between this and like everything else. That I'm just gonna go Captain America: Civil War, like 3
No,
back-to-back MCU films.
Oh,
But that's genuinely.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me not not taking MCU films. I'm feeling
I mean,
good right
I
now.
didn't
That's
even
what
want to like because I feel like I've done enough pandering with Endgame and Avengers, but like there's such a gap on my movie rankings list right now
Yeah.
between Civil War and everything else on here.
there are gaps for sure.
All right, George, finish yourself off.
Oh god,
not in a weird way.
It's tough because like you're absolutely correct. Like I feel like now like we're out of my like top 10 of like ranking all of these movies. So I'm just gonna go in the order, or not in the order. Let me get Rogue One. I'll toss a Star Wars movie in there.
Nice.
It's a good pick.
Um,
I'm shocked Tyler didn't take it. It's a good pick.
I really thought Tyler was going to take Rogue One, and I would have Civil War available for me. My last pick, I'm between a few.
There's
But
so many that are like the same tier right
Yeah,
now.
there's so many left that I just have at a 4.5 or a 4 out of 5 that I could take, and I don't think any of them are going to do votes better than the others. So fuck it. I'm just going to take The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. 3 Batman movies in your top 5. Good work.
Is that your last pick?
That was my last pick.
Okay. So
Okay. So my last pick, I'm kind of just between 2 right now. And I'm going to go with the one I'd rather rewatch, which would probably be Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And we're at Cam for his fifth.
I'm a little upset about that. That was what I was going to take.
Cam, I'm surprised you didn't take a Star Wars film earlier, honestly.
I don't hold, like we talked about this. Like I have A New Hope at a 90.
Yeah.
And that's the second highest I get. Empire didn't make that much. Like obviously that would have been picked already. Star Wars movies, we talked about it, don't do very well in like Asia, where is the majority of the box is.
You can take you can take The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, which I hold highly, but I have higher rated movies on here. And also that's so polarizing. Like people would get mad.
That would not do votes.
I kind of want to take. I kind of want to take a movie again. Like I rate pretty high. I don't know how other
Similar to your first pick, maybe?
Similar to my first. Oh no, I do like that movie.
Oh,
Though.
okay.
I do like that movie. Man, this is kind of tough because. I'm gonna do it. I think it'll get votes, and I do like this movie a large amount. I'm gonna take Furious 7.
Yeah.
I like Furious 7, to be quite honest. I think it's not as good as Fast 5, but barely, in my opinion. I think it's right there.
All right, Seth, take us home.
And Seth,
Has anyone taken The Lion King?
That is not the animated version.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
so
No,
you
but
know.
on this website it said that it got 968 and they did several releases and helped it push it over the billion, and it's on Wikipedia.
The animated one or the
The
2019
1994 animated one.
I didn't know that.
I'm not
I
lying.
do not.
Look, I'm not
I
lying.
don't see it. I don't
Yeah.
see it on any like highest
Yeah.
grossing movies
I'm
of all
seeing
time.
It's on
968
Inside
million.
is quite a.
I'm gonna veto that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know if
veto
that's.
that
I don't
too.
know if that's allowed. It's I'm only seeing the 968 million.
yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I don't see the billion, so I'm gonna veto.
I'll go Titanic. Got it 4 out of 5. I'll go.
Yeah. That's what I was choosing
Titanic
between
was a movie that,
and The
like,
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Before we talk about any honorable mentions, let's run through each of our picks. Who wants to do that?
Me. The first pick, I got The Dark Knight, Joker, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Rogue One, and The Dark Knight Rises. Tyler got Return of the King, Avengers: Endgame, Marvel's The Avengers, Captain America: Civil War, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Cam took Jurassic Park, Infinity War, Toy Story 3, Skyfall, and Furious 7. And Seth took Top Gun: Maverick, Deathly Hallows Part 2, Avatar: The Way of Water, Dead Man's Chest, and Titanic.
So we already bullied
Seth
enough. We already bullied Seth enough, so I'm not going to do it anymore. A movie that George, again, I told you I'm looking at your list, and I wasn't going to pick it because I think people always like confuse unnecessary with not good. And that would Toy Story 4. I love that you have it at 16.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. I have Incredibles. It's a good movie. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. It's an 87 out of 100. Yeah. It's the worst Toy Story, I think, but like Toy Story is absurdly good, you know. Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2. There's a lot of animated directions we could have gone here.
Incredibles 2, I love. I really liked Incredibles 2.
If you're looking at like my ranking after the top 10, like there's nothing that stands out.
Right. I'm surprised the Philosopher's Stone had to have gotten re-releases. If that and Deathly Hallows Part 2 are the only two that crossed the billion. Had to be. There's got to be so many re-releases. Cam, how did you not pick your favorite live-action Spider-Man of all time?
Yeah.
I think Philosopher's Stone got a re-release.
I think I would have been bullied online, and they would have been like, "Damn, Cam's what's the comment always? Cam's picks are perfect up until the last pick." I probably would have taken it and gotten that same comment.
I didn't know Toy Story 4 got a billion.
It made more than Toy Story 3.
Yeah, made a lot.
Really?
Made a chunk.
It's a God again. You can say it's unnecessary, but like that doesn't make it bad. It's really good.
I like Toy Story.
Every movie is unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, obviously. Yes, of course. No one took Avatar, which it's not top 20 on here, but I think people will get mad about it. Man, you have Beauty and the Beast at 2.5.
Yeah, it should suck.
That's nuts.
I didn't realize people loved that until like I posted a TikTok saying like live action remakes of Disney movies haven't been great, and then everyone's like,
also,
"What do you mean
Aladdin
Beauty and the Beast is
a 3. Aladdin's not as good as Beauty and the Beast. IMO. Man.
I like Jurassic World more than a 3-star. The first one.
I have Jurassic World at 4.
It's like an 8.
There's a lot of directions we can go.
Yeah, I like Jurassic World. I wouldn't have picked it in this voting. I like Beauty and the Beast, like I said. If any of the Frozens got picked, I would have left. I almost took Dark of the Moon for Alex Coleman.
If you took Dark of the Moon, he would have posted a video on his TikTok promoting to vote for you.
Yes, Zootopia is very good. Didn't get picked. Finding Dory again is good. Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Watch more animated stuff.
I know, I probably do. I don't know how many I've watched. We'll continue for that.
I'm interested to see how many billion-dollar movies you've seen, because I've seen all 50 of these.
I think I've probably seen about 40. I'm going to say this. I didn't know the Transformers. I didn't know like Frozen made a billion. I didn't know any of these made a billion.
I'm very interested to see the results of this draft.
Yeah, I am too. I think I did well, and I can't wait.
I think you did.
I can't wait to podium.
Cam, you're just.
I was gonna say at face value, I think Tyler wins.
Did you see my
temper your expectations, Cam? Please, you always do. You're like, I think I drafted well. Just prepare yourself.
Drafted well, and then,
every time you say, I need Emma to like check over my pick, she's on a cruise, so we know she didn't look at your picks this time, so we got to be worried there.
And this week, what was it? Was it it was a streaming service draft. Like, I didn't pander. And I didn't pander this week, I wouldn't think, but like I think I pandered. I don't know. We'll see.
Every pick on this draft is a pander, unless you're Seth.
Unless you're me.
Which gets him a lot of respect from a certain crowd on Twitter.
Seth, I respect it. It's just poor draft tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like when I do a draft, I just can't pick. I know that mine won't get votes. I just can't pick something I don't love more than
I'm just surprised you just didn't enjoy Infinity War and Endgame that much. That's more what I'm shocked by.
No, I did. I actually really like Infinity War. Endgame,
to
like
like.
a 4.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
I really like Death Flowers Part 2. I know it's the same rating, but I'd prefer to watch that again. So I just, in my head, I'm not gonna pick
Okay.
Infinity War
The
over
thing
it.
is, wait, what'd you take your first round? It was Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun
Yeah,
Like,
that was a bad pick. Like looking
That
back,
was
I don't.
okay,
enjoy
okay.
it.
I didn't think you liked that
But then
as
again,
much as.
that would still be on my list. It wouldn't be. It'd probably be like 3rd or 4th.
Didn't
third
you
pick,
give
I think.
Top Gun Maverick a 4 out of 5?
No, 4.5.
Oh, okay.
It's in my top 10 of 2022.
I gave it
Okay,
to one.
that's fair then.
I will. I
rate
will
it high.
say, don't worry, fellas. We've got another draft Thursday, most anticipated movies draft of 2023. So we're doing
do it.
that soon.
Let's wrap this
Yeah.
episode
Let's wrap
up.
this up and do that.
Perfect. Okay, so thank everyone for listening to episode 18. Of course, go over to our Twitter to vote on the draft results. This episode will be dropping obviously on the Monday as usual. Rate us on Spotify, give us a subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. We recently hit 10K on TikTok, which I did forget to mention, so thanks very much for that. Yeah, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that. We really appreciate the support. Obviously, on the awards episode, we'll be having another draft out on Thursday. Cam, go on.
I just wanted to say we had great support on the awards this week, and
We had a lot of like
it
people
was
sharing it. How many people like on TikTok sharing it on stories?
yeah, just a ton of
Shout out to
tweets.
Seth for following people on Letterboxd. We knew that was a painstaking process
No.
for you.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! That took me. There was like I think it was like 100 or something altogether.
Yeah. To be fair,
People-
I never imagined you would have gotten that much. On
I thought I'd get
Twitter.
like 10
Right.
or something.
Pe-
With my
people
Twitter,
keep
I think
adding
I've only
me.
got like 800 followers on Twitter.
People
so it's like-
keep adding me that like Seth and George and Tyler all follow you back on Letterboxd, and I'm the last one. I'm very sorry. I'm most likely not going to follow you on Letterboxd.
I don't care about following people on.
I
I'm
follow
social media,
follow
I will.
15 people on Letterboxd, and they're all.
I
people
appreciate the
know.
honesty.
Like I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm very very sorry. I'm not gonna follow you back, and it's not like a to be rude thing. It's more like I go to Letterboxd to see what my friends believe in movies.
I miss
Once
those
we
days.
get-
Very
Yeah,
bad.
okay.
Very
Maybe
bad.
on Twitter. I might follow people on Twitter because I
No,
follow, like,
I'd rather
500
follow people on
already on
Letterboxd
Twitter.
and Twitter.
Yeah.
Really,
I
follow
loved
people, like,
I loved the
500
days on
people.
Letterboxd where I would just go to a movie and be like, oh shit, these people saw it. Like awesome. Now I do that and I get the same like quick jolt. I'm like, oh, these people saw it. I'm like, oh, like these are all people I have no clue who they are.
What we should start doing maybe is follow people back on the ReelTok podcast.
Oh, big brain move.
Letterboxd. Just an idea. But again, I'm very sorry if I'm the last like ReelTok member to follow you. It's
You
not.
won't
to
be getting that
rude.
Infinity
It's-
Stone.
Yeah. It's maybe one day if we meet in person and you're a really nice person,
And you steal
that's-
Cam's
that's
phone
what
and
we'll
log
say. Yeah,
into
no,
it.
we'll say if we meet in person someday somehow and you recognize me and you're like a big fan or really nice, yeah, I'll probably follow you back out of respect. But
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's all I
We'll
have.
wrap this up there. Thanks for listening, everybody. Episode drops on Monday. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Please share, show a friend, like, subscribe, whatever. Speak to you soon. Have a good week.
Peace.
Bye.